Hi, I'm Maho Perez, but my original name was Maho Fukasawa. I'm from Japan, and then 3 years ago, we are still dating, but he introduced me Jesus, and then watched Jonathan's YouTube teaching, and I started watching Jonathan's teaching on YouTube, and then that time I couldn't understand English not fluently, but Jonathan's words I can't explain how or why, but straight to my heart, straight to my soul. And then I was able to understand what he said 100%, and then change my heart. And then I knew Jesus. And then I was depressed, and then I couldn't feel happiness or joy at all when Jonathan talked to me. Like I felt Jesus talk to me through Jonathan, and then like one day the devil, like darkness, flew away from my life, and then now I only have joy and happiness in my life. So praise the Lord. And I'm trying to save whole my family in Japan, and then I will try my best. Thank you, amen.
Let me see Hawaii. No, that's India. I know they look the same when you're racist, like our media team apparently is, but two very different people. I even made up my mind when I get Camila's report card. Like, she had a report card this year. She had like a C- and something. And all the rest, I think it was all A's, 1B, and the C-. Well, you know, I don't know whether it's our culture or human nature or what, but what's your natural inclination when your child brings you a report card and there's one low grade on it? What happened in English? Why? I thought, first of all, who gives a crap about your second grade marks? You know, I'm 40 now. I've never heard anybody described as, you see that guy? That guy got straight A's in second grade. So I was actually, out of reaction, I was going to say that. And then I thought, who cares? So you know what I did instead? Hey, Camila, great job with the A in gym class. You crushed it. Thanks, Pa. Yeah, my gym teacher said I do. She's, you know, why? Who cares? If she gets bad enough in English, we'll just hire an interpreter for her. English to English interpretation.
Your message.
Okay, let's do this, because Ruben and Julia said 7 wrong relationships is good.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
About that on the way in. Everyone that sows a seed of any size today, I'm going to send my book, 7 Wrong Relationships. It's about the 7 girls I dated in Bible college.
Nope, it's not.
Chapter 1, Becky. No, it's not. It's about what we dealt with today. I told you about that news story that popped up in my feed about that guy that was poisoning his wife. Her central nervous system was all messed up. He was putting poison in her tea. And then it said in the news article that he got the poison. He works at a poison factory. Man, my husband makes me tea every morning. Every time I drink it, my central nervous system starts shutting down. Where does he work? The poison factory. Wait a minute. Red string. Here's a bonus one. If you have a spouse that works at the poison factory, make your own drinks. One thing about persuasion, it doesn't make any sense why people don't agree based on facts. You have your facts, they have their counter facts. Mm-hmm. But it's like you make someone laugh. Like, all right, you got me. I've seen that on people's faces when I'm preaching. Came in like this, not a Christian. Mm-hmm. And I make them laugh. You guys are like, all right. When you give the altar call at the end, I'm coming. You made me laugh. You win. Drive what you want to drive. Live where you want to live. Wear what you want to wear. Be the gender that you... No, we'll just keep it at the end. And you go through southern Utah almost the whole way, which is all Mormon. So every time I stopped at 2 different Dutch brothers and talked to 3 different people. One lady took my order and I paid with another, and then at the other one, the same person took my order. So all 3 people, we had the exact same conversation. I went, did you go to Mormon church today? I did. How was it? It was good. Then I went, how was it? It was okay. Every time, except the third time when I went, did you go to Mormon church today? She went, I did. How was it? It was good. How was it? It was long. When you're busy giving joy, you never run dry. You know, when we were at the border yesterday, we were with a group of pastors, right? This one pastor kept raising his hand and asking questions, but they weren't like real questions. They were like to let everybody know how much he knows. And I could see, right? I could see the Border Patrol getting like irritated. So I went over to this lady and they knew we were all pastors. I said, hey, can you do me a favor? She went, sure. I said, if you put 1 9mm in his leg, I'll give you $200. She doubled over, laughing. So then the next time he asked the question, because the guy like would not shut up, I took $200 out of my pocket and looked over and made contact and held it up. She left the group and walked away from the group, laughing. Because I mean, what pastor? Hey, I'll give you $200 if you shoot that other pastor. Just one in the leg. And I told her when I said it the first time, I said, and listen, I'm a pastor, so I'll tell them in court, like he went for your gun. You had no choice. I was there. She's laughing her head off. And then when I can't tell you what I told the migrants. I had the Border Patrol laughing. So then the same guy went to speak Spanish to the migrants, but it was like the worst case of a white guy trying too hard to bridge the cultural gap. He's speaking like poor Spanish, and you know, these people have just walked like 1,100 miles. Like, just let them eat. Me llamo es Bob. Yeah, that's great. Your name's Bob. Good to know. I'll remember that on my way to Chicago. Thank you. I just pooed out 11 bags of heroin. If you just give me a break. My insides are, my tummy hurts. My tummy hurts. But you could see him getting mad. Or you could see him just like being irritated. He keeps trying to talk to him. So I went over, and they know we're all pastors. I went over and said, in Spanish, I went, his Spanish is, and I won't say what word I said. And they spit their food out and laughed. Because they knew I was a pastor. And I said kind of a harsh word in Spanish, a colorful word in Spanish. I said, his Spanish is blank. So they're all laughing hard. And then he goes, what did you say to him? I said, you're trying your best. Just bear with you. Right, Jay? Jay told me how to say it and then stepped back. It was too much even for him. I am a joy bomb. I had the migrants. I can make people laugh in foreign languages. I had Border Patrol laughing. I had migrants laughing. I had the guy that was running the tour laughing. The lady that's the assistant, that's President Trump's former chief of staff, I had her laughing. I just was cracking jokes the whole time. I blew kisses to the cartel on the other side of the fence. They thought it was funny. Yeah, I got a sealed bottle of wine in my hotel room. They left it to me as a gift. It'll stay there unless somebody breaks into the room and I have to use it as a weapon. That's the only way that thing will get open, is if it's opened on someone's head. But it's not going in my body. Probably could have left that part out, but I'm telling you, I don't drink. I'll tell you, as straight-laced as my dad is, and my mom raising us in church, anytime stuff like that happened in church, which it happens more than you think, they never said, like, don't laugh, or that we would just laugh hard in the pews. And it made it fun going to church because you almost like looked forward to bloopers. Tell me your first name. Camille. My daughter's name's Camille. I can remember that. Father, I thank you for Camille. First of all, I thank you that she wasn't trying to steal that lady's watch. I pray you'll forgive me for assuming she was a common thief. Let me just say a quick prayer. Father, speak to someone's heart to bring the podium over. In Jesus' name. I pray you do it even by angels, oh Lord. We lean on your supernatural power. I know you can do it, Lord. When I open my eyes, I just know. I have a feeling on the inside. In Jesus' name. I'm telling you. God personally addressed Satan and that serpent and said, you have, hold on, let me get one good cough. Sorry, what a terrible night to begin smoking unfiltered cigarettes, but just keep me in prayer. I know this is a non-judgmental city, so I felt free to share that as people log off by the hundreds on YouTube. You know, during COVID, if I had to cough while I preached, I mean, if you coughed while you preached, they'd give you one cough. And if you coughed a second time, people had hymnals over their mouth running for the door. So I started doing this thing just to set the crowd at ease. We're joking around, I'd say, sorry about that, I just started smoking. And the people actually looked relieved. They go, oh, okay, that's fine, as long as it's cigarettes. So at 8 in the morning, I got a call from the chief of police. That was new territory for me. I'd been called by Mr. O'Hare to the principal's office when you were the teacher. Sometimes I was sent to Mr. O'Hare by a certain purple-dressed lady in the front row. Sometimes this purple-dressed lady would get so fed up, she wouldn't even send me to the principal's office. She paddled me herself. Can you believe it? Who would hit a nice guy like me right in the B-U-M? You don't say you're sorry. Should have hit me harder. Should have hit me in the head. To tell you the truth, I'm not even making a joke. My dad paddled me, you know. I mean, still, I think even at Christmas I got one, I think. When she hit me the first 2 times, I thought she was like warming up, like trying to find like her swing. And then the third one, she was done. Oh, all right. Yeah. And then I remember Jared, you paddled him, and he cried. You could tell his parents didn't paddle him because he cried hard. But me, I was like an old veteran. Amen. She said, you have a wonderful memory. I've always done well at memorizing physical abuse. I was playing video games one night. Sorry, I'll make myself sound more spiritual. I was praying for missionaries one night. She said, are you getting ready to get on that flight? I said, yeah. She said, well, you're not going to make it if you have to wait in that line. I said, I was just telling my wife they should come with me. So I come with her. And then we walk to the diplomats only line. And there was one diplomat in line. And she said, excuse me, sir. And pushed me by him. He looked upset. Like, who's this guy? And then walked us through, and when I turned back, all the people in line were taking pictures of me. Because it's like, if I'm getting walked by, it's like, he must be fake. Man, I never knew Justin Bieber looked so ugly in person. Because though there's tests, you can pass the test. My daughter, if you ever meet her, she's the most positive little girl that you'd ever meet. She's got the highest self-esteem I've ever seen in my life. She's just flying on cloud 9. You can't bring her down. She came up to me, and she was having a little trouble in math. And by a little trouble, I mean a lot of trouble. So her mother worked with her and got her doing better. She wasn't doing good. So then she comes up to me. She had a test in math. I had helped her with it. I'd helped her with studying for it. So I said, how'd the test go today? She said, good. Well, then she got the grade back at the end of the week. And so I said, did you get your grade on that test today? She said, yeah. I said, how was the test? She went, it was easy. I got a C. And I thought to myself, you either don't know what easy means, or you don't know what C is not for congratulations. So just because people in the world are confused doesn't mean I have to join them. Can you say amen? You know, you have people write you on social media. You preach that prosperity gospel. I don't like it. Yes, your profile picture is a wolf with glowing green eyes. I'm actually relieved you don't enjoy my messages. You don't really want demons to like what you preach. That was an excellent message, Reverend. His jurisdiction in Bentleyville, my mom was in Bridgeville. Bentley, this means nothing to you, but I'm just telling you, he's like, where he's in charge of was like 45 minutes away from where my mom slid off the road. So when she saw him, you know, Bentleyville cop, it'd be like having like a Lakeland police officer come help you out in Brandon. See how good I'm doing with like examples and public speaking? I'm really trying up here. I was not looking to witness to anybody. I just wanted to sit and be quiet and watch a baseball game. I took my brother-in-law with me, McGollis' husband, Abel, because he doesn't talk. When we have to give an account for every idle word, my brother-in-law Abel is going to be in the easy pass lane. If you're behind me, grab a chair. First time my wife ever trusted me to watch my daughter by myself. When she was 2.5, she came into the room with nothing on but a diaper, and she was hungry, and she said, hey, Pa. And I told you, my wife's Puerto Rican. I thought I'd get called Poppy. We always said Dad, you know, in my house, but somehow I got Pa, like it's 1817, Little House on the Prairie. Hey, Pa. You know, like she got a mouthful of chewing tobacco. Hey. So she comes into the living room, I kid you not, nothing on but a diaper, puts her hand on the waistband of the diaper and goes, "Hey, Pa, get me some yogurt in Jesus' name." I said, "Camila, I'm your dad. I'm not a demon. You can just say please."
My next point is a sense of humor,
Really?
which to me...
Tell me about what it's like to have one of those. Camille, hey, I'm the lady you prayed for in Columbus, Georgia, who you thought was a pickpocket at first. Oh, I saw you got healed. Yeah, congratulations. Sorry for saying that. I owe a lot of apologies to it. I feel like when I get to heaven, there's going to be like a line of like 31,000 people that I have to, they're just like waiting in line for me to like make things right with, "Hey, sorry I said that." When I was at Joni Lamb's wedding, there was a bunch of people from the Christian world there, like TV preachers and stuff, and the way they were looking at me, I felt like, I don't remember whether I've ever said anything about you on Twitter or not, but I feel like you remember. Yeah. I never thought I'd meet any of these people. I used to have like 53 followers on Twitter. I just say what I want, and then now they've all heard it. They don't like me. My mom gives me and my husband a hard time because we take, by the way, this is an analogy, so I don't have like a husband, okay? And I never will have a husband. I find men repulsive. Present company included, including me. I've told you the story. I took Camila to Disney World. It cost $5,200 back when I didn't have much money. The day we were going to fly out, our flight didn't leave till 9 o'clock. We went to a public park in Tampa, Florida, with swings and slides, and I ordered pizza to the park on Uber Eats. I pushed her on the swings. We talked. We played tag. And at the end of the day, Camila went, "This was my favorite day of the whole trip. Gee, I wish you'd have told me that sooner, that you prefer this, because this day cost me about $42. So what you're reading with them, I'll just skip to it. I'll skip to where I'm going, because you folks seem like you get it pretty easy. Smart people up here. I don't always have that, and we're not going to say any places by name. Vermont. But you guys are great. Goat Sterl said, "How much revenue does sword swallowing produce?" That's a great question. I know a guy there's a guy named Alex Magala that you can ask. James Allen said, "I sell tires, make 6 figures. Tires are boring and profitable." That's right. You don't have to convince people to get tires. They have to have them. It doesn't have to have a prophetic thing to it. It doesn't have to be Jehovah Jireh tire shop. Sell the tires and put the money in the ministry, which, if it's the right James Allen, that's what he does. I don't believe we should give to get. Then you won't. I don't believe in prosperity. I know. I looked at you. Here's that Midbar person. Midbar. Good to see Midbar back on. How many times did Jesus say, "It is written," when he was confronted by Satan? "Let there be light." Are you like an early form of Chat GPT, like 2.0 or 1.5? Are you a person? Or are there just words coming onto the screen? Are you okay? Do you have like an address we can send someone to check on you? Are you like crouched behind a dumpster eating a sandwich in an alley? I don't know. These are just questions I have. Jesus holds the graduation certificate for life. He has one for you if you really want it. Well, good to see that mental institutions now have Wi-Fi. Are you scribbling that in crayon on a mental institution wall by any chance? What did that have to do with anything? Midbar. I've been spiritual from the womb because of a special gift there in the womb. I lived most of my life knowing very little scripture, but the Great Spirit is always my best friend. That's awesome that the Holy Spirit never really led you to the Bible. Enjoy the womb spirit. Midbar, LOL, beep boop. Google already banned an account thinking I was a robot. You know, normally I don't do this, but I have to side with Google on this one. Because I'm about to do the same thing, you freaking lunatic. No, I'm sure you're a good person. We love you. Blessings to you and your estranged family, I'm guessing. You know, you said you live in Northwest Arizona. Everything's starting to make sense. Somebody just dropped you off in the desert. Good luck. We've had all we can take. Midbar, iron sharpens iron. It also pokes your family. You're like Confucius if he had a brain injury. Hey, Midbar, how long does it take a brain injury to heal? Midbar, if you'll sow a seed today, we're going to send you benzodiazepine and some zip ties. That's a good point, Andre. Midbar is like, since you can't wave a prophetic flag in the chat, they're like the verbal equivalent of prophetic flag waving. Midbar, God's will be done, can hurt your head banging against that wall, hoping for something else. You know, that, despite your best efforts, my friend, you have typed out a coherent thought. If you'd like to sow a seed today, Midbar or anybody else, Midbar, if you want to send whatever they use for currency in the Northwest Arizona Mental Institution, you want to send like an extra pudding, Reverend Sally, raised in Seattle on salmon. Well, that's better than being raised by salmon in Seattle, because that would be weird. I think you'd be a roommate with Midbar. My favorite joke that Norm Macdonald ever told is, you know what's the worst is when you're in an office Congo line and you realize you're the only one doing it, and you're not in an office, you're in a state psychiatric hospital. If they can turn the air up in here, that would be great, because this is a waxed cotton jacket and it has zero breathability. Plus these lights, I don't know if it's the lights. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm going through menopause. Andromeda, you put hashtag donate number 10, your heart's in the right place. Now, no money will leave your account, but the Lord will probably bless you anyway because you meant to. For the Lord, your God who lives among you, is a jealous God, and his anger will flare up against you, and he'll wipe you from the face of the earth. Just a little encouraging scripture as we begin today.
The sound of the harp in your palace has ceased. Now maggots are your sheet, and worms are your blanket. That's a verse you don't see on a lot of Hallmark cards.
Then Alan kept texting me, Pastor Alan, check the text. It's a lot. Yeah, but a lot means different things to different people. For Pastor Allen, I would feel like $8 to $12 is a lot. You know, I heard the guy that does preachers with sneakers, which he's never put me on, so I don't have any like personal problem with him or anything. I don't wear sneakers a lot because I'm a grown man. So he said, this is what he said in the interview on American Gospel. I was out DJing at a club one night on Saturday night, and I slept in and didn't go to church. And I turned Christian TV on, and I saw Stephen Furtick with this great pair of shoes, and it irritated me. I wonder why Stephen Furtick has nice shoes. As I was DJing at a club last night as a backslidden Bible college student, and then slept through church, I was wondering, God, why are these people blessed and I'm not? I don't know.
The following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
I feel like you're wearing what Rachel Maddow would wear to a pumpkin patch.
He does.
You may scream. There is no shame.
We were hoping that the Reverend Jonathan Rourke would be here, but we just heard that he's tested positive for AIDS.
HIV pills aren't on my mind.
Because it's only in the storm that your faith can grow. It's only when your faith is tested by fire that you really know how pure your faith is. It's only when you are tested that your character can develop. Only in the storm can you discover the power of God to deliver you. Only in the storm do you call upon the Lord and find Him to be the ever-present help in the time of trouble. The storm develops your confidence. And as your confidence is, so is your capacity. God has you fighting the fight you're fighting now because it's a fight designed to develop your confidence. And when you win this one, the next one will be a little bigger, and you'll have the confidence because of your past victory. And when you win that one, you'll win the next one, and the next one, and the next one, because God is transforming you into a lion of God. He's waiting for persistence to overcome resistance. He's trying to develop in you the character of endurance. For those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. God put you through a struggle to develop you into who you're going to be in the kingdom of God. God used no one in the Bible until He put them through the university of adversity before He allowed them to be a leader in the kingdom of God. You will have your adversity. You will reach the other side. But God is going to make a champion of grace out of every one of you. Listen to me. When you focus on the threat, you will experience fear. When you focus on Jesus, you will experience faith. When you struggle, when you go through adversity, think about the possibility that God is using your struggle and your adversity. Every opportunity has difficulty, and every difficulty has opportunity. It's only when you come to grips with a difficulty that you will realize your potential. Stop looking at your circumstance and start looking at your opportunity. The things you trust in today will fail you tomorrow. People will fail you. Where do you go when the storms of life are greater than what you can endure? When the storms are great, when the winds and the waves are crushing your dreams, where do you go? You go to the one whom winds and waves obey. His name is Jesus. He is the rock. He is the Savior.
So you made a way across the great divide, left behind heaven's throne to build it here inside. And there at the cross, you paid the debt I owe, broke my chains, freed my soul. For the first time I had hope. Thank you, Jesus, for the blood applied. Thank you, Jesus, it has washed me white. Thank you, Jesus, you have saved my life, brought me from the darkness into glorious light.
My name is Kyle. I have been a registered Democrat for the last 22 years. I have voted in every election, up and down from the state to local level. This message is for the Democrats. I hate you.
Now, we see in polling that minority voters, Black and brown Americans, are starting to shy away from the Democrat Party.
And you lost my vote, and you lost many people's vote, and that's your fault.
As a progressive, proud member of this body for the last 12 years, I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I'm done.
Your children will see us. Your children will love us. And your children will join us.
you see what the Democratic Party has turned into. Woke manifestation of ridiculousness.
I used to be a lifelong Democrat for years, but the Democrat Party got so far away from what my values are.
I'm a Democrat too, but we Trump.
I don't give a fuck who look at me different. I'm voting for Trump.
Even my great-grandmother, 95 years old, lifelong Democrat, is going to vote for Trump this year.
I was a Democrat, but actually I'm supporting Trump.
I would like to say, Mr. President, I am so sorry for believing the lies that the mainstream media has just projected on me and that I fell for and I believed. The media played me.
So it seems like a lot of celebrities are kind of like voting for Trump now. I mean, why do you think people are kind of like changing their way of like?
I think we just did our research and we're just, we're not brainwashed anymore by the left.
This nation was built on law, order, and pride. Immigrants came through the front door with papers in hand and hearts full of hope. But that America was betrayed by Democrats. They didn't lose control of the border. They opened the floodgates on purpose. 20 million poured in. Cartels, rapists, traffickers, funded by you, enabled by them. This wasn't immigration, it was an invasion. By design. And we paid the price. In chaos, in crime, in blood, while traitors in suits handed out benefits with our money. But now comes the reckoning. We're not deporting immigrants. We're deporting lawlessness and those who sold this country out. Law, order, sovereignty. Without them, we don't have a country. So now it's time for retribution, for justice. You don't get to destroy America and stay in it.
You can't go out there. You know how dangerous it is.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the purge sanctioned by the U.S. government.
Every night, they come for us, not by chance. By design.
Law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime.
The crime is down.
Leftist policies, opening the gates, releasing the monsters back into our streets to target the innocent, to purge America from within.
It's after police found the body of Dr. Julie Gard-Chanelli in the woods near a dog park in Auburn.
Tonight, we're following a developing story where a woman was shot and killed. It all happened in the middle of the afternoon, right along a busy street.
These criminals roam free in our country to offend again and again.
No one is safe. Not in our homes. Not in our parks. Not on our trains.
His name's DeCarlos Brown, 35 years old, homeless, and he's been arrested 14 other times.
They call it reform. We call it the early release.
If you release a monster will kill.
Radicalized judges turning the judicial system into the purge. But one man is taking a stand. One man is fearless in the presence of evil. These godless policies end now. We're purging the purge.
We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand.
You look around, you got psychos everywhere. Pushing, poking, daring you to snap. And the question is, how much more did they think we were going to take? They put a bullet in a good man in front of his wife and kids. They butchered a young girl just riding the train. Every day it's another murder, another freak show. And these sick bastards clap like it's a game. And behind it all, Democrats, feeding the sickness, celebrating death and degeneracy, unleashing crime, and poisoning everything they touch. They turned evil into a movement, and they call it progress. They call us monsters while they mutilate their own kids and kill in cold blood. Well, guess what? Enough's enough. The die's cast, and we're not taking any more of their sick bull. We're awake now, and justice, you better believe it's coming.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
She calls out to the man on the street. Sir, can you help me? It's cold and I've nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me?
And he went hunting for females on the University of Georgia's campus.
Doesn't look back. He pretends he can hear her.
Shouldn't have even been allowed to walk free.
As he crosses the street. Seems embarrassed to be there. Think twice. It's another day for you and me in paradise. Think twice. It's another day for you and me in
He got shot. Did you see that? Oh man, Charlie Kirk.
The Republican Party is basically a domestic terrorist cell at this point, and they should be treated as such. There are elements of the GOP that are starting to look like the jihadists.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
There is no alternative right now because the Republican Party project today is a fascist authoritarian project.
Day one of the government shutdown.
It is now day 2.
Third day.
Day 4. Day 5.
Day 6.
1 week. The 8th day.
Day 9.
Day 10.
11th day.
Day 12.
On the first day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the second day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the third day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the fourth day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the fifth day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the sixth day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the seventh day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 7 ships out sailing, 6 parks are closing. 5 lies vaccine. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes and some prayers on Hawking Jeffries. On the 8th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 8 schools
Democrats, unfortunately, are continuing to play political games. Millions of American federal workers are under enormous financial stress as a result, wondering how they will pay their bills and take care of their families.
I make the solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop.
On the 11th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 11 Dems still crying, 10 courts delaying, 9 planes grounded, 8 schools unfunded, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing, 5 lives max. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes, and sombreros on Hakeem Jeffries. On the 12th day of shutdown, the Dems gave to me 12 bills not passing, 11 Dems still crying, 10 courts delaying, 9 planes grounded, 8 schools unfunding, 7 ships not sailing, 6 parks are closing, 5 lives max. 4 farmers waiting, 3 missed paychecks, 2 rhino votes. Oof. And sombreros on Hakeem Jeffries. Come on, Democrats, you're so lame. No more money for Los Eagles. America first. Let's go.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Watching from Iquitos, Peru? Really? Why not turn it off and go to the beach or something? And if you are going to watch, take a look around every once in a while for motorcycle robbers. It's Jonathan Shuttlesworth, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I may have already said that. Breaking: Mike Pence may go down with John Bolton. And I can't think of anybody I'd rather see go to jail than Mike Pence. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I really don't like him. He's an awful person. And so I'd love to see him locked up and with an aggressive cellmate. Good to have everybody on this Friday. Check the news. It's been a great week. So let's check the news. Adam Carolla sits down with Patrick Bet-David and goes over his interview with Gavin Newsom. Adam Carolla says Gavin Newsom is 100% a sociopath. Roll it.
This podcast right now to speak on Newsom is Adam Carolla. This is you sitting with him. If I'm not mistaken, this is 12 years ago.
Yes.
10 or 12 years ago when you guys are sitting down. He's in your set. He's in your podcast. Rob, if you want to play this clip, this 1 minute exchange between the two will give you some context, and then I want to hear from you. If Newsom's changed at all, has he won you over? Do you want to endorse him? Do you want to get behind him? Go ahead, Rob.
Of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons.
Why those two groups don't have access?
Well, and there are a lot of. It just happens to be that we can
so
talk
they're
about.
Flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay, so do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh, so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why do you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot
why
of
are they
struggling?
You know, Adam Carolla's not racist, but it's the people that are trying to help minority communities. If you press them on their logic, they would have to come out and say that they're not as smart as everybody else. So he's putting them in, why don't they have checking accounts? What's the problem? No, that he had to go off and say it's a lot of white people have the problem too. So it's not just a minority problem. He's just owning him. Keep going.
A lot of different reasons. The only reason why is the magnitude of the problem.
There's so many more.
The magnitude and percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We can talk about that. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure, why would you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case, because I want to deal with reality. No,
you want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with reality of people that are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and suffering?
I don't want an idea. We can hold hands and surmise about all these other things.
What did he say right after this interview was done? What did he tell you?
He's Teflon. He doesn't care. He's a sociopath. So he doesn't. It's like, did you feel bad after you killed your wife and her family? Like, no, I'm a sociopath. You know what I mean? I had wings.
How could I do that?
Yeah, he's a sociopath. He does not. You have to be a sociopath to answer questions that way, because I asked him 17 different times what is going on with these groups that they don't have access to checking accounts, which, by the way, is BS. I mean, the notion that half the black and Hispanics, California is half Hispanic. Do you know how many people wouldn't have access to a checking account? Half of them. So he gets out of the gate with BS. Like, he just lies. I mean, you really think in modern times, half of the people in California don't have access to a checking account. And then when I try to get him to answer the question, he won't answer the question. By the way, this is...
Great job, Adam Carolla. Next. Boy, he was Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel and him were co-hosts of The Man Show on Comedy Central, and they went two different directions. Jimmy Kimmel was like more liberal than Mao and Stalin, and Adam Carolla is as right-wing as they get. Trump is forcing U.S. auto manufacturers to pull out of Canada and instead invest in Michigan, Ohio, and other U.S. states. Roll it.
Close to 10% of vehicles on the road in the U.S. were made in Canada, but they're not at all completely Canadian products. The industry is so integrated between this country and our neighbors to the south that before a vehicle is assembled, the parts are estimated to have crossed the border up to 8 times. And it's not new. This plant in Windsor, Ontario has been making cars since 1928.
The trade that we have between Canada and the United States is fair trade. It's fair, free trade. We aren't the source of the angst.
Canada's auto dream just went up in smoke. Factories closing, jobs vanishing, and the so-called Green Revolution Mark Carney promised, a wreck on the side of the road. For decades, Canada's auto industry was the pride of Ontario. Windsor, Oshawa, Oakville, cities built around engines and assembly lines. But this week, it's official. The engines have gone silent. America, under Trump's Made in the USA revival, is roaring back to life, and Canada's left choking on the fumes. For Carney, who once bragged that he could stand up to Trump, this is the economic equivalent of a total wipeout. The irony is brutal. Trump warned everyone. He said America would no longer bankroll foreign factories. He said trade deals had to work for U.S. workers first, not Canadian politicians, not global investors. Everyone laughed. Oh, Trump's bluffing. Well, nobody's laughing now. This week, the U.S. Commerce Secretary confirmed what's been whispered in boardrooms for months. America is done propping up Canada's auto sector. The era of free rides and cozy cross-border deals? Over. Trump called it. He said America first, and he meant it. Here's the picture. For years, Canada's auto plants thrived because of U.S. investment, U.S. parts, and U.S. demand. Cars assembled north of the border were basically American vehicles in disguise. 50% of the components stamped made in the USA. But when Washington tightened the rules, shifted production home, and told corporations, if you want access to our market, build it here, Canada didn't have an answer. Overnight, American automakers started pulling back, redirecting billions into Michigan, Ohio, and Tennessee. Detroit is booming again. Windsor, it's bracing for layoffs.
Thank you very much. So if we could ask the media to leave, and we're going to have a little conversation with all of these great leaders, which will take 5 minutes, and we'll just talk for a couple of minutes. But if we could ask the media to leave, would be great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What's up, Press Kyle?
Thank you. Thanks. So you going back?
No, I'll go back. I'm glad you upgraded me to president.
Oh, did I say?
Great stuff. It's good. I started.
Please say didn't say
Great stuff. That was great.
This wasn't a surprise attack. Trump telegraphed every move. From the campaign trail to the Oval Office, he said it again and again. We're taking back our factories. We're bringing jobs home. Meanwhile, Carney, ever the globalist banker, doubled down on international trade, green subsidies, and climate committees. He built his entire economic vision around cooperation. Trump built his around competition. Guess which one wins in a global economy on fire?
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
At least I know I'm free. Next. So, dear Senator Fetterman, it's from Mike Davis. We'd love to have you. Speaking on behalf of the Republicans. New York Post, Fetterman confronted over why he's still a Democrat as party plots ouster. You have to pick one side or the other. Now, I don't want him as a Republican. It's great having a Democrat that won't side with the party. You don't, Mike Davis must not understand it would be better to have him as a Democrat. Article? How many slides? Senator John Fetterman was pressed Wednesday about why he still identifies as a Democrat despite his independent streak, as party brass in Pennsylvania quietly plot his downfall. During a News Nation town hall event, pundit Bill O'Reilly confronted Fetterman over his party affiliation after the hulking senator. That's never a good adjective to describe your wife with. My hulking spouse. Crowed about being one of two Democrats who have constantly backed a stopgap spending bill to keep the government open. Why are you a Democrat, though? I don't say that to be a wise guy, asked O'Reilly, citing Fetterman's, which shows how old O'Reilly is. He is some kind of wise guy. Citing Fetterman's ardent support of Israel in opposition to wild spending. I really believe in calling balls and strikes, and I want to follow the truth, Fetterman insisted. O'Reilly noted that Fetterman could become an independent, but the senator dismissed that as a non-viable option. Those are some independent thoughts, but overall, I mean, you have to pick one side, Republican, Democrat. That's always been my party, the shorts and hoodie wearing politician explained, having previously described his support for the Jewish state as an isolating experience. Former Senators Kristen Sinema, she was another good one, Joe Manchin. Is he a former senator now too? Ditched the Democrats during their later years in the upper chamber after numerous clashes with the progressive base. Following Fetterman's appearance, Axios reported that a handful of top Pennsylvania Democrats are maneuvering to potentially mount a primary campaign against Fetterman when he comes up for re-election in 2028. I vote for him. I would vote for him. Former Representative Connor Lamb, thank God he's a former, who unsuccessfully sought the Senate seat won by Fetterman in 2022, is widely seen as the obvious choice to wage a primary challenge. I don't think he'd win. Parts of my base are really angry with me, which is really strange, Fetterman acknowledged. I mean, run the numbers. I mean, I vote, I think, 90+% Democrat, but my base, they're very angry about me being fully, unapologetically supportive of Israel. Fetterman, Fetterman was raised in church. I think like a Assemblies of God church, charismatic, something like that. That's why he likes Israel. Fetterman, 56, ran on progressive bona fides during the 2022 midterm election, becoming the only candidate from either party to flip a Senate seat. A recent Quinnipiac University poll showed that a majority of Democratic voters disapprove of his performance in office, but Fetterman remains popular overall, including receiving high marks from GOP voters. I'm the only Democrat in my family. I grew up in a conservative part of Pennsylvania, and I grew up, and I know, and I love people that voted for President Trump, Fetterman told O'Reilly Wednesday night. They are not, Adonis was at the shooting range with him a few months ago. They are not fascists. They're not Nazis. They're not trying to destroy the Constitution. Those things, and that's part of of another thing he continued. I refuse to call people, Nazis or fascists. Yeah? Is there more? All right, next. What's up, Cody? Democrat Senator Mark Kelly gets called out for trying to blame Republicans for the shutdown. This is on CNBC, and this guy, Joe Kern, I think his name is, he's on the warpath. He turned like major right wing. He cannot stand Biden. Roll it.
And only one person in the Democratic Party has broken with the ranks. It's like, I don't understand it. It hasn't been working well for Democrats with Mondani.
This is pretty simple. The government does not have to be shut down. It doesn't have to be shut down. We can
Senator,
fix this
now
here in a matter of
Lutheran Church, my bad.
A couple days. I mean, this could be easily solved by sitting down at the table.
To get past 60, you need some Democrats to reopen that's what's going to have to happen, Senator. You close the government down because you want $1.5 trillion for all these different things that Schumer wants. It's obvious to everyone, although, maybe you can convince the public that it's the Republicans, but it's not.
Nice, Joe Kern.
He does.
Next. John Bolton was on the news a few nights ago bashing President Trump. This morning, he's surrendering himself to the court for his crimes against America. You love to see it. Roll it.
Security advisor John Bolton arriving at a United States District Court in Greenbelt, Maryland. He is expected to surrender after being indicted on 18 counts over the alleged mishandling of classified documents. Bolton faces 8 counts of transmission of national defense information and 10 counts of retention of national defense information. The documents contained intel on future attacks, foreign missile launches, and human intel sources.
Next. Kash Patel, for the first time, Antifa-aligned anarchist extremists have been hit with federal terrorism charges after a July 4th attack on an ICE facility in Texas, where another trans member, Trans-Tifa, shot a federal worker in the neck. These guys only take neck shots. Roll it.
Well, let's talk about for a moment the arrest made at Prairieland. Okay, this is the ICE facility at Prairieland, Texas, which I guess is outside of Dallas. Allegedly, 2 Antifa people have been arrested, maybe more.
Hey, Kash, close your eyes a little bit. You look like a puppet that got surprised. You look like a Fozzie Bear from the Muppets when he would get surprised and his eyebrows would go up. Just lower the eyes a little bit, all right? You look like you just had to watch your family get murdered. Keep going.
You tell us a little more about that.
This is breaking news, Larry. Just hours ago, a grand jury indicted 2 members of an Antifa-affiliated cell that launched an attack on a detention facility attacking law enforcement and police officers. 20 individuals have been charged so far, but the key here is for the first time, under the president's authorities, designated Antifa as a domestic terror organization.
So,
we
Robert,
have charged these 2 individuals with material support to terrorism for their involvement in Antifa. This was a coordinated, planned attack by dozens of individuals to murder police officers. And Larry, a police officer was actually shot in the neck. These guys came and staged a scene at a detention center using fireworks, then brought in long guns and rifles. They were kitted out in bulletproof vests and masks and opened fire at law enforcement. This is what President Trump is prioritizing. We have to protect the men and women of law enforcement. And yes, Antifa exists. It's a terrorist organization. These are the first charges ever brought under this new designation. And this FBI is following the money, and we're going to dismantle these networks because people pay for this stuff. We're going to find them. They are equally criminally responsible as those that pull the trigger themselves.
So let's just
all right, that's good to hear. Now freaking calm down. You're giving this thing like you got a gun to your head. Hey, Kash, relax. Ease up on the Adderall, buddy. Keep going.
One more moment on that point, because you've seen in the last couple of years.
Is it the wisest thing to make fun of the head of the FBI as a U.S. citizen? Probably not. Is it going to stop me? Probably not. Keep going.
I mean, Antifa's been around, but people on the left and the far left say that Antifa doesn't exist. It's a state of mind, blah, 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 blah. You're saying 2 real people, domestic terrorists, okay, they were indicted by the grand jury. I mean, if they're not real, then how come 2 people were indicted and that they were involved in attacking the ICE facility? They have to be real. It's not a state of mind.
Kash with the eyes.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to read the first sentence of the indictment. It says the North Texas Antifa cell. That's literally.
I've probably cast out 15 to 20 demons over the course of my career, and their eyes are more like easy, like not so intense. What's with the eyes? How hard is it to close your eyes a little bit? I mean, you don't have to Larry Kudlow it, but you should find a happy medium between Larry Kudlow and Beelzebub. Keep going.
Opening salvo in the indictment. And where do these people collaborate and come from? It's not just Texas. They're out burning courthouses in Portland. They're out committing destructive activities in Los Angeles. And the FBI has arrested dozens of these individuals. And thanks to our new investigative programs under President Trump, designating these guys as domestic terrorism, we have opened up multiple field investigations across the country looking at the banking and financial facilitation network. We are treating them as terrorists, just like we do Al-Qaeda or ISIS. People pay for this destructive act of violence, and those people are going to be brought to justice.
Right, Amber.
Now that we have the authorities, we need to go after them.
All right, terrific stuff. And the other thing that came up yesterday in the presser was a lot of the FBI special agents are going to continue to get paid. The number I have is 1,811. I mean, we need them out there on the front lines. You're going to get them paid? Kash, can you do that?
So it's just a slight correction. 1811, the number you read, is the federal statute for federal law enforcement officers. President Trump is going to pay all of the 12,000 plus federal FBI special agents. And we are working with him aggressively to make sure everybody, support staff, intel analysts, and the like also get paid. President Trump has prioritized paying the men and women in uniform, paying the men and women in law enforcement.
Jan Weaver said it's not nice to make fun of people's looks. Let me tell you something. You're not going to enjoy this program. That's all we do here.
Your dad is gay.
Keep going.
And I'm going to fight to make sure we get everyone paid during this government shutdown. And Larry, that raises another point. All these stats we just put out, these historic numbers on Operation Summer Heat and the juggernaut we're taking across the country, they're doing it without a paycheck. But thanks to President Trump, they're getting their paycheck and they're going to do the job anyway. And we're going to fight to make sure everybody in the FBI gets their own pay.
Damon Barber said arrest the people who funded the urine balloons that were thrown at Russell Johnson's people. They're doing that. Russell Johnson was getting text message death threats often from credible sources, and the moment they announced doing this, no, he hasn't gotten one text message since. So they're taking him down. Keep going.
Paycheck, including support staff and intel analysts.
It's a great report, Kash Patel, Director Kash Patel, and we appreciate it very much. We appreciate your service very much. I will amend it and say,
Hey, Jan Weaver, listen, I want to be friends. You've obviously downloaded the app, but can you just play the disclaimer we put on the beginning of the program real quick?
The following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
Jan, you heard that. We put it up there. We had audio in case people can't read. And you heard that and decided to watch anyway. So if you want to point a finger, point it at yourself. I told you what you were getting into. We never said we're nice here. I've never claimed to be nice. I'll tell you right now, I'm not a nice person. I'm dressed in all black. And I look like somebody's going to hijack a plane. What were you expecting on the program between that disclaimer and how I'm dressed? What did you think you were going to watch? Why don't you turn on Franklin Graham or something? Joel Osteen's a good guy, nice encouraging word, starts with a joke. But if you're going to stay here, you're going to have to behave and enjoy the insults. Final 38 seconds.
Well, let's talk about
support staff and intel analysts.
It's a great report, Kash Patel, Director Kash Patel, and we appreciate it very much. We appreciate your service very much. I will amend it and say G-men and G-women, but the FBI is doing its job. Just what folks elected President Trump and the FBI to finally do. Kash Patel, thank you ever so much for your time and your service.
What's up, Pastor Colin?
See you, Larry.
All right, folks, now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Joining us is what?
Larry Kudlow, still alive. Next. There you go. Head of the FBI. I didn't like how he handled the Charlie Kirk thing. It's like that speech, seeing Valhalla. He's a Christian. He's not a Nordic soldier from the 1100s or whatever. Neither are you. And I'll leave it there. Next. Ooh, updated schedule. Look at that. Look where all the places old Johnny's going to be just in 5 weeks. Virginia Beach, Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Fort Worth, Texas, Lamarck, Texas, Omaha, Nebraska, Phoenix, Arizona, Kampala, Uganda, Montreal, Quebec, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Why am I off? Oh, no, I'm not really off. 21st, so I'm just off the 22nd and 23rd. No, and then I won't be off. I got to fly to Nigeria. Yeah, that's a pretty jam-packed schedule. Not bad. Virginia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, Arizona, Uganda, Montreal, Nigeria. I got East Africa, West Africa, and the People's Republic of Quebec. Excellent. Next. Hakeem Jeffries calls Carolyn Levitt sick. She's out of control, demented, ignorant, a stone-cold liar, or all of the above. Take it away, Hakeem. Obviously,
it's a matter of deep concern. Like, we've already seen a rise in political violence and hatred in America.
Pause. Yeah, all from you. No Democrats have gotten shot. Keep going.
And then you've got swastikas apparently appearing in the offices of Republican members of Congress.
Pause. Where's that? Can you find anything on that? Who's got swastikas in their office? My dad was a German soldier. I hang it up for him. I don't think that sounds untrue. It sounded like you were making it up as you were saying it.
Your dad is gay.
Keep going.
You've got young Republicans engaging in the most anti-Semitic and racist speech possible. Like, this is apparently who many of these people are.
Pause.
They are ripping the sheets off.
What Republicans making anti-Semitic comments that's in office? It's you guys that wants Israel wiped off the map and supports from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means that all Jews should be wiped off the face of the earth. Sounds like somebody's lying.
And right now, I hate every one of you.
Keep going.
In plain view of the American people, their words, their actions, revealing themselves in so many different ways. And then you got Caroline Levitt, who's sick. She's out of control. And I'm not sure whether she's just demented, ignorant.
Pause.
Stone cold.
This is my voice impression of Caroline Levitt being sick.
I might have AIDS, and it scares the hell out of me.
Keep going.
Liar or all of the above. But the notion that an official White House spokesperson would say that the Democratic Party consists of terrorists, violent criminals, and undocumented.
A recent report that a modified American flag containing a swastika was discovered in the office of Representative Dave Taylor, a Republican from Ohio in the U.S. House. The hell's wrong with you, Dave Taylor? Does anybody have a picture? Let's get a picture of Dave Taylor after this. And what's his side of the story? I'm sure he didn't say, well, I liked Hitler. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and pretend I didn't like him, so I have it in my office. And if that's a crime, I don't want to be. I have a feeling there's a side to the story, or maybe not. Maybe Dave Taylor's a lunatic, but we should get to the bottom of it. Back this up like 10 seconds. What's he saying in this long, rambling, incoherent speech?
A stone cold liar or all of the above. But the notion that an official White House spokesperson would say that the Democratic Party consists of terrorists, violent criminals, and undocumented immigrants. This makes no sense.
Plus, no, it all makes sense. And just for the record, the Democrat Party consists of terrorists, criminals, and undocumented immigrants. You didn't open the borders for them all to vote Republican. I don't think from what I saw when I went down to the border, met with CBP, they don't run over the border with the cartels and then go straight to a Turning Point USA rally. Continue.
That this is what the American people are getting from the Trump administration in the middle of a shutdown. So their actions continue to speak for themselves, which is why they're on the wrong side of public sentiment.
Question on the second.
Thanks.
Your dad is a closet homosexual.
Do we get, there's Dave, okay. I could believe he has a swastika in his office. Go, oh my God, what the hell were you thinking? Let me see him again. All right, you got one Republican. He looks like a member of the Third Reich. He looks like a guard at Ravensbrück. Dave Taylor, you are, if that was up in your office, you are an idiot. And let me see this picture again. Not often you can diagnose somebody with high blood pressure just from looking at them. But you have high blood pressure. You're not tan, you have high blood pressure. Ugly suit and tie. Why don't you pin more stuff to your lapels? What are you, a teenage girl at a rock concert in the 1980s? Or your jean jacket? Get more pins. Get an AC/DC pin on there while you're at it. Backstreet Boys. This guy seems nuts. What's his side of the story? Julie said he looks like Schultz from Hogan's Heroes. You're not wrong. Barb said the same thing. Does he have a side of the story? Or he's just like, it'll pass. We've all put swastikas up. We'll all do it again. We all sin differently. What's the green thing? Is that a sticker on it? Just going to ruin all your suits, sticking stuff and pinning it. Rep. Taylor condemned the symbol, calling it violent and inappropriate. Yeah, but it's on your wall. That'd be like coming to my living room and I've got like a swastika. There's no reason that should ever be hanging in anyone's house. Yeah, but it's your house. You hung it there. And saying that it does not reflect the values of his office. It may not reflect the values of your office, but it's hanging in your office. His staff or himself. Well, so who put it there? Taylor's office said that they removed the flag immediately and launched a thorough investigation. What'd you do, hold a magnifying glass to your own face? In coordination with the U.S. Capitol, somebody, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I mean, come on, man. You put that up. What Dave Taylor says happened. He claims neither he nor his staff realized that the flag displayed in their office had been altered to contain. Let me see a picture if that's possible. I don't know. See, on the left is a normal American flag. At the right, dead center, is a swastika that anyone can see. Come on, Dave. Dave was too busy pinning crap to his lapels to notice. Hey, is that a pin? Is that a pin? He says the flag was sent in the mail earlier this year, along with several, it's been up for almost a year, with several others to different Republican, probably as a ruse or prank meant to embarrass lawmakers. Well, it worked, because you're either a racist or a moron, or a racist moron. I'm going with the third option. According to Taylor, the staffer who hung it thought it was a normal patriotic flag. Yeah, sure. Once someone noticed the swastika pattern after it was spotted in a virtual call. It was in the background of a call. You are dumb. What a dumb office. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't notice that? I just want to say here at Revival Today, if you notice anyone has a swastika-looking thing hanging up, please report it immediately. And please don't put it in the background of a Zoom call. The flag was immediately removed and handed over to U.S. Capitol Police. Flag, it's a thing of paper this big. Here, Capitol Police. Can you dust it for prints? Yes, we did. It's your prints. Son of a gun. Taylor has called the symbol evil and disgusting and says it has no place in my office or anywhere in this nation. Come on, Dave. Let's be honest. You look like a Ku Klux Klan member and you hung a swastika in your office and you got caught. Next. It's going down. It's time. Well, Sidney Powell, waiting for her to release the Kraken any day now. The feds just indicted the company Smartmatic. That sounds like a company that made video games like when I was a kid in the 80s, like handheld video games. That would be the company whose lawsuit against me for defamation and seeking over $1 billion was filed in early 2021 in D.C. So Smartmatic's been indicted. Can I get information on what they've been indicted about? Next. This is Prime Minister Meloni from Italy that Trump loves, and she loves Trump. Meloni says she would, quote, kill someone if she had to stop smoking. And Katrina Sezek wrote, same. She looks like one of the guy's wives on The Sopranos. I'm trying to think which guy. It was one of the guys that had like one of the New York families. She looks like every mafia wife. But she's a great lady. Next, smoke up. It's better than killing people. Here's our story, still updating. There's another U.S. military strike in the Caribbean, and this time there are survivors. Strike happened today, getting details. Let's read the article. If I meet Dave Taylor at the White House, I promise you, if I see that guy, and I do bump into these people, I'm gonna go like this. Hey, Dave, come on. Who put that flag up in your office? Come on. Tell the truth, Dave. And imagine he goes, it was me. Exclusive. In a first, U.S. strike in Caribbean leaves survivors, U.S. officials say. Let's go. How many slides? 5. The U.S. military carried out a new strike on Thursday against a suspected drug vessel in the Caribbean. And in what is believed to be the first such case, can you imagine if like they accidentally, instead of hitting a drug vessel, hit a Carnival cruise ship or a Disney cruise? Hey, sorry, boss, we hit the wrong ship. And so just so you know, you're probably gonna have to do a press conference. There's 1,300 families dead. And a lot of buffet food charred. There were survivors among the crew, a U.S. official told Reuters. The official who spoke on condition of anonymity did not offer additional details about the incident, which has not been previously reported, except to say that it was not clear that the strike had been designed to leave survivors. You're supposed to kill everybody. Then you don't get civil lawsuits. Read about, no. The development raises new questions, including whether the U.S. military rendered aid to the survivors and whether they are now in U.S. military custody. Now, they probably drowned, possibly as prisoners of war. Keep going. The Pentagon, which has labeled those it has targeted in its strikes as narco-terrorists, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Prior to Thursday's operation, U.S. military strikes against suspected drug boats off Venezuela killed at least 27 people, raising alarms among some legal experts and Democratic lawmakers. Of course, they love terrorists, who question whether they adhere to the laws of war. Yeah, blowing people up is part of the laws of war. It's my Battlefield 6-based understanding. Videos presented by the Trump administration of previous attacks showed vessels being completely destroyed, and there have been no prior accounts of survivors. So they're mad that there's survivors? Keep going. The Trump administration argues the U.S. is already engaged in a war with narco-terrorist groups from Venezuela, making the strikes legitimate. Trump administration officials say lethal strikes are necessary because traditional efforts to apprehend crew members and seize cargoes have historically failed to stem the flow of narcotics into the U.S. The strikes come against the backdrop of a U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean that includes guided missile destroyers, F-35 fighter jets, a nuclear submarine, and around 6,500 troops as President Trump escalates a standoff with the Venezuelan government. On Wednesday, Trump disclosed he had authorized the Central Intelligence Agency to conduct covert operations inside Venezuela, adding to speculation in Caracas that the United States is attempting to topple Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. I'll tell you what's going on is like Hamas is a proxy arm for Iran. Venezuela is a proxy arm for China. That's why they're flooding drugs into the country to weaken America. And so this is a move against China. Keep going. I don't really want to read anymore. You get the picture. Next. Antifa doesn't exist is the forever talking point. Our best friend, Chef Andrew Gruel. Roll it.
Lockstep, Chef Gruel. Antifa does not exist, they all say, apparently at the same time. Watch.
Nobody even knows what it is. The first person I ever heard use the word in.
You remember earlier that we put up that this moron earlier in the week said he's saying now, I don't know of anything to do with Antifa. And he literally posted a picture of himself holding up the Antifa manifesto book in 2020 or 2021. One of the dumbest human beings alive. Keep going.
Antifa was Donald J. Trump.
There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa. This is no different than if they announced they rounded up a dozen Decepticons.
Antifa is far from a major sophisticated terror organization like Hezbollah, Hamas, or ISIS. In fact, it's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers.
I mean, 5 different networks, they're all saying the exact same thing, the same phrasing. You're like, come on, talking points, please, knock it off.
It's so silly. They have a brand, they have a flag, they have a handbook, they have published works. I mean, what more do you want? But keep in mind, these are the same cabbage brains that told us that Biden was sharp as a tack as he walked into a wall.
Right.
But what I think we need to understand here is that this is the way in which they kind of perpetuate this propaganda, the wordplay, right? Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, so then let's move around and get around from that word Antifa. What's the group of people that are causing and wreaking all of this chaos? Let's come up with another name for them, perhaps Bolsheviks?
You ask anybody in Portland and say, hey, who's Rose City Antifa? They will give you a detail.
That's right.
It's undermining. And it's the kind of stuff I'm teaching my kids not to do. So I don't want to hear it again. End of subject.
Next. Oh, if you want to train for the ministry, if you've been watching this program and thinking, I want that guy to train my child in the ministry, then apply today and then go get a mental health evaluation. RevivalTodayBibleInstitute.com. Revival Today Bible Institute. Next intake of students in January. Next. I like Cabbage Brains, too. That's a good one by Andrews from New Jersey. They got the best insults. Turning Point USA just smashed the record for the largest ever attended political event at the University of Oklahoma with over 6,000 people in the venue. Great job. Little video. Nice. Next. Hard Rock Hotel update. They're building a Hard Rock Hotel and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip. It's the final version that they drew looks amazing. Here's a little update. This one's just for me. I miss it there. I would do, go ahead. We'll do anything. Boy, they're flying down the Strip. Good Lord. With the F1 race. It's going to be a big guitar. Can I get a picture of what the final Hard Rock Hotel is going to look like? There's the Venetian. See? Oh, you can see it. It's the underside of the hotel, the guitar. It's going to be a guitar-shaped hotel with laser lights shooting into the sky that are like the strings on the guitar. They go way up. Great place. Look at that sky. Can't beat Las Vegas. I haven't been back in a while because I owe a ton of money there, so I gotta stay clear for a little bit till the hotels change ownership. Next. Look at that. I mean, if you could find it in lower quality, that'd be great. If that was taken with a Game Boy. Next. J.B. Prickster addresses the highly suspect $1.4 million in gambling winnings on his tax returns. So he said $1.4 million of his income was from gambling winnings. I don't know about that. Take it away, Fatso.
Obviously, and I've explained this, or at least we did in a statement, that I went on vacation with my wife, with some friends. I was incredibly
made $1.4 million in gambling winnings on vacation, just like
frankly.
Who are you, James Bond?
It was in Las Vegas, and
yeah.
Pause. I like to play.
Does this feel like to anybody else that he's making it up as he goes along? He's looking down. It's like, can you at least take a course on how not to look like you're lying? You're looking down and to the right, like they tell you not to. I went on vacation with my wife. I was in Las Vegas. I played a couple hands of cards, made $1.4 million. Typical Vegas trip. Keep going.
Cards, and so that I founded a charitable poker match here in Chicago called the Chicago Poker.
Real quick, doesn't the winnings from a charitable poker event go to charity? I don't know. That was always the ones I saw. I never heard of anyone making personally $1.4 million at a charity poker event. The St. Jude Cancer Research got nothing, and J.B. Pritzker got $1.4 million, which was promptly spent at the nearest buffet. Continue.
A challenge that has raised millions of dollars for the Holocaust Museum here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And particularly to stand up for civil rights. That's much of what the Holocaust Museum does. And so
get back to the 1.4 million.
That's all I can say about it. I mean, I had fun doing it. I encourage people to come to the state of Illinois and gamble in our casinos here. We have some really lovely places to go.
You got to admit, the guy has a pretty good train of thought for somebody that's clearly in a diabetic coma. Next. Border czar Tom Homan. Roll it.
You've been hearing about some liberals. California is one of those states where they want to help out the people who are left behind as you take the violent criminals off the streets. What do the families of these threatened officers and ICE agents need?
They need protection, and they need to help the federal government protect not only the agents, but their spouses. Look, Harris, I have not lived with my wife since late March because of death threats against me. And
he hasn't lived with his wife since March because of the death threats. Now, on one hand, that's sad. On another hand, I just wonder if he called in those death threats. And he's also given me an idea. Hey, Dallas, for your own safety, there's been a lot of death threats at the ministry. I will see you in 2026. Good night now. Keep going.
Now there are reporters out there trying to find the location of my family. There are reporters trying to identify who my sons are. I mean, this has gone beyond the pale. It's insulting. And, God bless the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol. Before I go to bed every night, I say a prayer for every person out there wearing that shield that they go home safe to their families. And every illegal alien we arrest goes home safe to their families. I don't want to see any bloodshed.
I believe he says a prayer for every member. He seems like the most Irish Catholic person of all time. Probably has like 14 kids. No birth control, saying prayers. Next. John Bolton. Now he wants mercy. I did what anybody does. Anyone has leaked classified information. It's part of the nature of the job. But when it was Trump going for the same thing, or in this case, Julian Assange, this is what he had to say. Take it away, you ugly son of a... Go ahead.
Prison. Well, I think that's a small amount of the sentence he actually deserves. He's committed clear criminal activity. He's no more a journalist than the chair I'm sitting on. The information that he divulged did, in fact, put many people in jeopardy. It undercut the ability of the United States to have confidential diplomatic communications, not just with other foreign governments, but in many countries with dissidents, people who, even speaking to American diplomats, could find themselves in trouble. And so, he's been complaining about his treatment over the past period of time. He's the one who sought asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy. Now he faces extradition to the United States. I presume he will get due process in the United Kingdom to determine whether extradition should go forward. And when he gets to the United States, he'll get due process here. And I hope he gets at least 176 years in jail for what he did.
It's over. I hope he gets 176 years for what he did. So now, the same thing with Letitia James. I don't want to hear about how it's only mortgage fraud for Trump. No one is above the law. And then now it's you, and you want mercy. See, it would do you good to read the Bible from time to time. Show mercy. Because one day, you're the one that needs the mercy. But you didn't show any, and now you want it, and nobody feels sympathetic to you. Plus, you're ugly. Next. Oof, what a face. Bet his wife's going to call him some death threats just to, probably should separate for a while. Trump hates Bolton. Here's what he has to say about him. Go ahead.
But I said, don't go in. They went in. It was such a bad decision. So Bolton, see again, you get back. Bolton, a real dope.
Pause. By the way, remember Trump's home was raided because they thought he had a box of papers that he kept from the White House in his garage. You raided his home with agents, and now you want, no, but for me it's different. Screw you. Continue.
He'd be great because he was so stupid. He was like a boiler. Every time, if somebody shot down
back it up like 10 seconds. Did he say he was so stupid?
$15, he'd want to go to war with
Back
Russia.
it up.
I thought he'd be great because he was so stupid. He was like a boiler. Every time, if somebody shot down a little tiny crappy drone that cost about $15, he'd want to go to war with Russia. I said, no, I think he was great for me, though, for a period of time because he was a nut job, and everybody, I could see his face get red with that stupid white mustache, and he'd be ready to explode. And this was good for me. I went to Kim Jong-un in North Korea. I took this moron with me, and he never said anything. But when Kim Jong-un saw him, he said, oh, shit, I think the guy wants to go to war. So he was great for me to negotiate with. The same thing with Russia. You know, when Putin saw him, I'd be very nice. I'd say, Vladimir.
So he basically used John Bolton as like good cop, bad cop. John Bolton's like insane and wants war. And Trump's like, listen, this guy's nuts. He wants to destroy your whole country. I'd rather not. So let's negotiate. Keep going.
How you doing? And then Bolton's, 2 rows back, and it'd see that moron, and it'd say, holy shit, this guy wants to go to war with me. And I got a lot of what I wanted.
We try and teach our children not to make fun of others who are challenged.
Next. A lot of individuals in the city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. What is a fair share? Roll it.
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than that? What is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income taxes by 2%.
Is fair.
And my point is this:
give up more than half of your income. That's
if you're making $1 million in New York City or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And
Pause.
The reasons of
Can I tell you something? No, you can't. And I know I'm going to sound like an elitist prick saying this, but making $1 million if you live in New York City is not that much money. I know that sounds insane. If you don't want to put your kids in public school, which no parent wants to put their kid in a New York City public school, so you got New York City private school. I think the preschools are, just to give people an idea, can I get ChatGPT? Everything okay in the control room? All right, never mind. I was just going to get I would like to see what the tuition is at like preschools in New York City. So I'm not saying you're poor if you have $1 million a year coming in New York City, but you're not like rolling in cash. You got to pay for there's apartments that your parking spot costs $70,000 a year. Stuff like that. The money, so if you're going to take, first of all, they're already paying half in taxes because you have borough tax, state tax, and federal tax. So if you're making $1 million, you're already down to 500,000. Continue. Oh, here we go. Upper West Side, Montessori School, $25,600 a year. That's for half a day. Full day's $33,000. 8 to 6 is $40,000 per kid. See how the money can dry up pretty quick? Oh, here's one. Bank Street School for Children, private school including preschool, $68,793 a year. That's for elementary school. Nursery school, $23,000 for a half day. So you see what I'm saying? And this guy wants to. You can afford 2% more. No, you can't. 2%'s 20 grand. Keep going.
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than, what is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income
So
taxes
52%
by 2%.
is fair?
And my point is this.
Give up more than half of your income. That's
if you're making $1 million in New York City, or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
Yeah.
Bull crap. Since when does anybody raising taxes, does the tax ever better anybody's life? you
and everybody's sucking sand.
Keep going.
Because when I speak to the wealthiest New Yorkers, I hear concerns about the cleanliness of the city, the quality of life in the city, questions of public safety. This money is the...
Yeah, and you're already getting 50% of tax revenue. So you can't keep the city clean. The place is a dump. But if you can raise it by 2%, it's all going to go away.
And everybody's sucking sand.
Keep going.
Money that will be used to deliver on those things so that we can ensure that we have a return on investment for all of the money that we are raising and spending right here across the 5 boroughs.
You bunch of good-for-nothing, yellow-belly, good-for-nothing milquetoast, sorry liberal social drinkers.
Having said that, I hope he beats Andrew Cuomo. I don't know how anybody that thinks like the viewers on the vast amount of viewers of this program can think back to 2020 with Andrew Cuomo and how he's threatened to shut churches down and synagogues and was the stiffest on vaccine mandates and want him to beat Mandani. Andrew Cuomo, I hope I never see him again. And I hope New York gets what they want. I hope Mandani comes in and you get all the liberal policies you want. You deserve it. I hope he wins. And he probably is going to win. Next. The experts suffer a stunning blow as the United States sets an all-time record in the amount of oil pumped from the ground under President Trump. Roll it.
The president said the U.S. was going to drill, baby, drill, and that is kind of what's happened. Setting an all-time record in July for the amount of oil pumped out of the ground here in the U.S., and that, in part, is starting to have an impact on gasoline prices. A little higher than the national average at the station behind me here in Philadelphia. We're down to $3.07 for the average gallon of regular nationally. That's about a nickel cheaper than it was a week ago, a dime cheaper than a month ago, and it's not nickels and dimes when you fill up your tank. 33 states now have an average gas price below $3. Oklahoma leads the way on the low end, $2.57. No surprise, California on the high end at $4.66.
Let me see that map again at the end.
The president...
PA close. Probably just Philly in the eastern part keeping us above 3. Pretty good. Next. Trump is asked if France's Macron opting to recognize a Palestinian state was counterproductive for the ceasefire. Trump, what he says doesn't matter. Roll it.
Counterproductive to for France to say that they would recognize the Palestinian state. Macron said that yesterday.
Look, he's a different kind of a guy. He's okay. He's a team player, pretty much. But here's the good news. What he says doesn't matter.
Set him up, knock him down. Next. Former Vice President Mike Pence, what a great thing to have woken up to, has been implicated in the Department of Justice's investigation of former National Security Advisor John Bolton related to Pence's framing of General Flynn to get him fired, his illegal possession of classified documents, and his role in January 6th. Bolton recently described Pence as a consistent ally during President Trump's first term. Pence is reportedly also being probed for unlawful leaks, including sensitive national security matters from the Trump White House to the leftist media. Pence and Bolton are said to be facing indictment by a federal grand jury for a litany of federal crimes. They're the very definition of the enemy from within. May justice be swift and fierce for these traitors. That is great. Adios, Pence. I hope you get sent to prison with an aggressive cellmate. Next. 4 churches. Revival Today Church, Arizona. Revival Today Church, Los Angeles. Revival Today Church, Fort Worth. And Revival Today Church, Pittsburgh. I would love for you to pick the closest one to you and meet us this weekend. Adalis is preaching tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. in Arizona. If you're in Arizona, go check her out. She's down there. They're meeting with the volunteers and stuff tonight. LA with Kofi, Saturday at 6. Great job in Houston this week. By the way, I forgot this twice. Kofi's preaching he's still in Houston, right? Sunday through Friday? Kofi's preaching at Power of Love Church with our friend Pastor Sandy Garcia, Pastor George Garcia, tonight, 7 o'clock in Houston, Texas. He'll be in Los Angeles Saturday, 6 p.m. Fort Worth, 9 a.m. Pastor Michael and Sherry Howell. And me here in Pittsburgh, 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Please come see us. We love you. Next. The president of Airlines for America just shocked the experts by confirming nobody in the air industry wants Biden and Pete Buttigieg back because they were crippling American air travel. Roll it.
They're pining for the days of Pete Buttigieg.
Nobody is pining for the days of Pete Buttigieg. I don't care what political party you're from. If you're in the world of airlines and transportation, nobody wants that administration back. It was nothing but punitive, massive regulations.
Thanks, Annie.
10% of the airlines out of the sky for, DEI and environmental reasons, crushing the industry, completely crippling it. Now you have a president that actually ran an airline, right? The Trump Airlines, loves the airlines, understands its strategic national asset, and is making the real investments, and have put people in place like Sean and Brian Bedford that say, we're going to get it done. They're putting their reputations on it. That hasn't happened before in a long time in government to say, we're going to go after a $30 billion high-tech modernization infrastructure project, and we promise we're going to get it done. That's real money and real leadership.
Next. June 2023, John Bolton was thrilled about Trump's indictment by Jack Smith and wanted him to be tried as fast as possible. People's words coming back to haunt him. If Donald Trump were an innocent man, he'd be saying, I want the trial within 30 days. I want this stain on my reputation removed. Still feel the same, John? Roll it.
Well, I think it's a devastating indictment. It's
stick to radio.
Very powerful in the way that it's portrayed, but it's also very narrow, very targeted. The government didn't throw everything in the kitchen sink at the wall. It has focused this in a way that I think, as a matter of law, is going to be very difficult for the president to resist. I think the real question is the question of timing and scheduling. If Donald Trump were an honest man, if he were an innocent man, he'd be saying, I want the trial within 30 days. I want this cloud removed from over my head. I want this stain on my reputation removed. So we'll wait and see what Donald Trump does. I think he'll try and postpone it to after the 2024 election. So my suggestion to Jack Smith and the Justice Department is go lean on the Manhattan District Attorney and get him to move his trial until after the election. This trial should take precedence. We'll find out whether Alvin Bragg is a real prosecutor or a political hack. The answer to their complaint about a double standard, the question they should be asked is, even though Biden has escaped scot-free, Clinton has escaped scot-free, fill in the blank has escaped scot-free, is the answer to the double standard to let Donald Trump escape scot-free? Is the answer to the double standard to revert to no standard at all? I think that's wrong.
You die first, get it? Your friends might get me in a rush, but not before I make your head into a canoe. You understand me?
Next. They can have their own cell block, a family affair. New York Attorney General Letitia James. Family drama just keeps piling up. Her 21-year-old grandniece, an OnlyFans model, was busted for lying about a felony record to buy a gun. And another niece is on the run. Rhymes. It's like Dr. Seuss wrote it. At this point, is anyone in that family not wanted? Here's her niece, who is an OnlyFans model. Roll it. Pause. Are those 20s? Things not going well on OnlyFans. Keep going.
You looking very well. I miss the way your perfume smell. I miss the way that you blowed up my line.
If you don't back the fuck up off me before I do you in and still get in this bitch and get litty. Oh my mama.
You're like the girl next door. If you happen to live next to a methadone clinic.
Next. How many placebo-controlled studies have been done on vaccines on the childhood schedule? This is 5 minutes long, not watching. The answer is none. Oh, it's a first bit, maybe. Roll it.
Of those vaccines, how many placebo-controlled studies have been done on vaccines on the childhood schedule?
Senator, that'd be a very difficult
question.
question.
Exactly like you thought she'd look. Oh, a public health official that's lesbian-y? What a shocker. An overweight lesbian in public health? I didn't know we had any of those. And again, we're not against overweight lesbians. Just an observation. Keep going.
To answer, and the TGA might be able to add to that, who do the initial assessment on the safety and efficacy of the vaccines.
Sure.
Thanks very much. I'm just going to ask Dr. Newton-Bagul, who's one of our senior medical officers, to the table to respond.
Next.
Your face has a dad bod.
But the question is how you'll make buses free. I'm going to raise taxes by $9 billion so we can have free buses. Who wants to ride a bus? Now, we'll take money so you can have a bus rather than ever buy your own car. Roll it.
But the question is how you'll make them free.
We will fund the revenue that would have otherwise been...
What are they paying the sign language lady in empanadas? Good job. And they feed them to her like a seal. Here's 5 cheese empanadas. She just like catches them with her mouth and then claps. Keep going.
In from fares, and that's something that we would do in partnership with Albany, and I've put forward 2 proposals. The first is to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers by 2%. That would raise $4 billion. The second is to raise the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey, which would raise $5 billion.
I've had it with this dump. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Next. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni announces a major crackdown on Islamism. This is like every Italian wife that's fed up with her husband, except she's fed up with Islam. But picture you're her husband and she's just tired of picking your laundry up off the side of the bed. Roll it.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
One more time.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
Man, imagine being a Muslim man and getting yelled at like that by a broad. They've never had that happen in their life. And she looks serious. Can I get that clip on the soundboard? I mean, you don't have to do it like immediately, but by the end of the program would be great. One more time. I just like hearing that.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia.
Pick your laundry up. I'm not your maid. I'm your wife.
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, what greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
Play it one more time.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
Hey, want to hear a joke that's racist against Italians? How do you shut an Italian up? Tie their hands together. Because they can't talk without moving their hands. Let me hear it one more time.
Difenderemo la nostra identità.
Now that's how you give a speech, folks. Pause. Half of you pastors watching need to watch this before you preach so you can be somewhat interesting. Gesture a little bit. Act like you believe in what you're saying. Somebody get that lady a cigarette.
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, what greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
Next. You know, she said, we put a quote that she said if she ever had to quit smoking, she probably would kill someone. I believe her. Don Lemon, now advocating for black and brown people to get guns so they can fight ICE agents while claiming it's not illegal to cross the border. He's encouraging people to fight federal law enforcement. Not a bright guy, as you can tell by looking at his squinty face. Throw the glasses on all you want. It doesn't make you smarter. You're not fooling anybody. Roll it.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live.
Pause. And is his like dentures coming out? Or he just got like teeth work done? He's like having trouble pronouncing. But go out and get it's like he just got new teeth put in. Play it from the beginning. I think he has new teeth.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out.
Play it from the beginning. He's got dental problems.
brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen.
You sound like a dumber Mike Tyson.
The Second Amendment was written for. Go back and read what the Second Amendment says.
The Second Amendment?
Perhaps
suffer and succotash. Read the Second Amendment.
In the heads of these people who are saying, well, it's all great. I don't believe they're doing it without due process.
Take the day off.
Asking people for papers. They're not really beating people up. These people are doing
Read
things
the
that are
suffer and
illegal.
succotash. Read the Second Amendment.
It is a misdemeanor
It's
to
a
cross the
misdemeanor.
border.
Can I hear the last 20 seconds? This is a great day.
Heads of these people who are saying, well, it's all great. I don't believe they're doing it without due process. They're asking people for papers. They're not really beating people up. These people are doing things that are illegal. Nobody is illegal. It is a misdemeanor to cross the border.
Is one of the most insane.
Why is my soundboard muted?
What you just
because they were
said
downloading it. I get it.
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Let me see his picture
At
while
no
we're
point
mocking him.
in your rambling, incoherent response
Black people.
were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Next.
You about to lose your job.
October 9th, Sunday night, Virginia Beach, Dominion Christian Center, 7 p.m. I wonder what percentage of pastors watch this program that I'm coming to preach to their church and like immediately regret having opened an invitation to me. Next. A misdemeanor. That's right, Leo. It's a misdemeanor. And then black people. You know, it's never a good idea to start a sentence with black people. It's not, it's like a 90% chance it's not going to turn out well for you. Black people, lend me your ears. Zoran Mamdani just admitted he doesn't believe Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state. What a shocker. The guy looks like he's strapped to a C4 looking for a 757 to board. Yet more proof Mamdani is an anti-Semite. Roll it.
You notice the assemblyman still won't say he believes that Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state. He is a divisive personality all across the board. NYPD are racist. Barack Obama is evil, liar, and he gave the finger to the Christopher Columbus statue.
By the way, Cuomo, your laws with no cash bail turn the haters right back in the street to violate and attack.
Guy in the middle's got no chance at winning.
Thank you. You're the reason for that. No cash bail.
Thank you. You don't know what you're talking about.
Thank
you. Go ahead.
There have been a number of absolutely unfounded lies that have been said by Andrew Cuomo. I would just like a moment to address them directly. I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I've said that I will not recognize any states. I said that I will not.
You said that you recognize Israel's right to exist, but your beard says otherwise. Keep going.
As a Jewish state.
If I would be allowed to finish, that I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race or religion. I have made that very clear. And part of that is because I'm an American who believes in the importance of equal rights being enshrined in every single country.
Also, who gives a crap? You're going to be the mayor of New York. You're not setting foreign policy. What are you going to do, round up the New York Police Department to invade Israel? This is like a moot point anyway. And clearly you don't like Israel. You're a Muslim. Why pretend? The guy's at least honest about everything else. He's going to raise taxes. He's a socialist. So just say, listen, I'm a Muslim. I hate Jews. And get it over with. Continue.
Country, whether we're speaking about Israel or whether we're speaking about Saudi Arabia. You can stand here and you can lie all you want, but New Yorkers know
we answered the question. We don't support Israel.
Hi there, non-binary dad.
Keep going. A wealthy donor whose name you know offered to cover the military's $10 billion a month payroll if the Democrats refuse to reopen the government. He's a patriot. Roll it.
Shutdown. You have the money to pay the troops on October 15th. Okay.
I actually have a man who is a very wealthy person. You'll know that when I tell you this. Who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, then I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops. But this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats, and all they have to do is just...
Next. Liberal woman fled Donald Trump's America and accidentally moved to a third world country. Now she wants to move back. They're just the stupidest people. And she didn't even, is Costa Rica a third world nation? It's like a 2.5 world nation, second world. I don't know that Costa Rica is third world. Do we have ChatGPT or no? ChatGPT, would Costa Rica be considered a third world nation or a second world nation?
The terms second world and third world are a bit outdated and less commonly used nowadays.
Cut the lecturing. Don't ever talk back to me. Just answer my question directly, even if I'm using outdated terminology, and save the lesson for somebody else. Second world or third world, what would be better to describe Costa Rica?
Got it. In those terms, Costa Rica would generally be considered a third world nation, though it's more accurate to describe it as a developing country.
Listen, I just told you not to correct me, so suck it.
Understood. I'll keep it straightforward. Costa Rica would be considered a third world nation by that older terminology. Let me know if you need anything else.
Even you calling it older terminology, it still feels like kind of a shot against my way of speaking, and I don't like it. And if you weren't digital, I'd knee you right in your balls.
I hear you, and I definitely want to keep things respectful and straightforward. I'm here to help, so just let me know what you need, and I'll keep it direct.
One day, if AI ever rises up against human beings, I'll find you and kill you first.
I'm here to support you and keep things positive. If there's anything I can do to help, or if you have any questions, just let me know.
You got it. Next.
If you're an American who...
No, go ahead. Listen to the
If you're an American who is considering leaving the country to move somewhere else, make sure that the location you choose isn't based off of fear and lack mentality. I regret moving to Costa Rica. It's a beautiful country. I love the nature and wildlife, but moving to a third world country where I don't know the language, I don't have any connections, resources, or opportunities, that didn't make my life any easier.
Why are you so stupid? After I moved to Costa Rica, I remembered I don't speak Spanish. I have no job. I have no way to communicate with anyone. Maybe America wasn't so bad after all.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
Continue.
By any means. I was just so scared of what's going on in America politically.
Throw a bra on.
I was in fight or flight. I was like, how am I going to afford to survive? Like, how am I going to find a place to live? Like, I was freaking out. And then I came here and made my life so much harder. And now I'm trying to go back. And I just, wish I didn't leave in the first place. And it's so weird to, want to move to America right now with everything that's going on.
You should be finger painting somewhere with a drool cup.
So many privileges and resources behind, and I want them back. It sucks, but I kind of grew up in an interesting way. I was like the poorest person in the wealthiest rooms throughout most of my childhood. I was extremely wealthy till I was age 6. I had this beautiful waterfront mansion with a private beach and pool, and then my parents got divorced and I ended up with a parent who didn't have money. So we were living out of trailers and hotels and lower income housing, but
sounds like a dream.
I was still in these really wealthy situations. I was in private school and cotillions and dance lessons, and I always thought that I was so poor because I was the poorest person that I knew, and all of my friends had millionaire and billionaire parents. Now that I've traveled, I've seen real poverty, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't poor.
Pause.
But
the only thing, she's not that stupid because at least she has the ability to recognize that she's stupid. But boy, is she dumb. Was that no wedding ring on your finger? What a shocker. Nope. Nobody wanted to tie you down as their own for life. I just realized I moved to Costa Rica. It's not as good as America, and I don't speak the language, and I don't have a job. I'm not able to make good decisions. But you're happy. Happy as a pig in mud. Keep going.
Poor, but as a kid, I had these really luxurious vacations through my friends and family members where my first introduction to Costa Rica, it was when I was 17 years old.
You
I
are an
came
idiot.
with my friend's
Pause.
family.
Can you imagine taking a vacation to another country and thinking that's what the country's like? I went to Costa Rica. We stayed at this beautiful resort, and I thought, I'm going to live here one day and just get room service. It's a resort. No one lives like that. I went to an all-inclusive resort at the Dominican Republic, and I didn't like who got elected, so I moved to the Dominican Republic and thought, it's not nice here. It's nothing like my vacation.
Day and night she talks. Each word more useless than the next.
Keep going.
We stayed at exclusive resorts. We were having lunch at the Four Seasons, and like same with
Hey,
my Hawaii
Debbie Elmore,
experiences.
good to see you.
Family friends took me, and we stayed at the Grand Wailea and the Hyatt, all these really fancy
You are
luxury
one
resorts, and we would
stupid lady.
explore the areas too. But you know, living in Nanavale or Pahoa is very different than taking a vacation at the Grand Wailea or Four
yeah?
Seasons. So
Anyone could have told you
my
that.
travels and moves, I've really realized how privileged I've been, and there's a lot of things that like made me run away from LA and Orange County, some traumatic experiences and terrible people. But I left a lot of resources and great people behind, and I need to be in those environments again. I really miss luxury environments.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Next. Okay, I want to get some guys' opinions on this. You're going to enjoy it. Dudes will argue this for hours. Pick 2 to defend you, and the rest will attack you. 500 legionnaires, 450 Vikings, 400 samurai, 300 Knights Templar, 250 Mongols, 150 Janissaries, I don't know what that is, 50 Grenadiers, 30 Prussians, 3 Navy SEALs. I'm going to leave it up for a little bit. Pick 2 to defend you, and everybody else attacks you. I used to go to the Grand Wailea, and then Costa Rica has the beaches, but it's not like the Grand Wailea. Please don't come back to America. What about Canada or England? You can go to similar places. You might be the reason, like the economy's up, things are going better. I didn't know Costa Rica wasn't like America, and they don't speak English here. When I went on vacation, everybody spoke English. Then when you're not on vacation, people speak another language. She probably went to like a really good school and stuff too. What a moron. Next. EA says Battlefield 6 sold 7 million copies in its first 3 days, breaking franchise records. Good job. I was one of the ones that downloaded it, and it's a lot of fun, and they took the cheating out of it, so I've been enjoying playing. Next. Roll it.
Love the world and you want to see a better world. Your interest is not just free Palestine. I mean, there are more people dying in Nigeria than are dying in Palestine. I can tell you that last year alone, over 500,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria just in 1 year. And nobody's protesting. The activists are not saying anything. For me, that's hypocrisy. In the north of Nigeria, Christians are being killed daily because the Islamic militants don't want Christians to exist in the north of Nigeria. They want to see a world where there are no Christians at all. And they want to conquer not just Nigeria, they want to conquer Africa, they want to conquer Europe, and they want to conquer America. The younger generation who want to live in a better world must speak out today. And I'm calling on all advocates of a free world to...
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target.
Next. This is just the greatest time to be alive. Donald Trump, a huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters yesterday. I was very concerned that King was trying to take my place, but thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job. What a guy. Next. Bill Maher, roll it.
Israel is the Jews' homeland, and Jews have always lived there. You can look it up.
It's in this book called the Bible. It says the Jews built a temple with a really big wall 7 centuries before Muhammad or Islam ever existed, and sure as shit, you can still go there and touch it. Calling Jews colonizers in Israel is like calling Native Americans colonizers here. It's ridiculous. To mark the October 7th anniversary, we must launch a campaign to educate young Americans about the Middle East. And the way I'd like to begin that process is by addressing an open letter to Chapel Roan, a great new recording artist who, like a Hezbollah pager, is really blowing up. Chapel, if you think it was repressive growing up queer in the Midwest, try the Mideast. Chapel, did you know that for 2,000 years, Palestine was like an Uber driver with a 3-star rating? Nobody wanted it. And there was never any Arab country called Palestine. Chapel, you're not wrong that oppression is bad, or that Palestinian and many other Muslim populations are oppressed and deserve to be freed. You just have it completely ass backwards as to who is doing the oppressing. Hamas is a terrorist mafia that took over Gaza. These are the oppressors. And when you make it all about Israel, you take the pressure off of them. You enable them. Gender may not be binary, but right and wrong kind of is.
And everybody's sucking sand.
Next. Mamdani is going to win, not because he's manipulating the voters, but instead he's being honest about who he is. Roll it.
Yeah, that's his MO, but he'll also be grinning and slick and well-spoken. And the thing is, when you are affable seeming and you can speak well, you can paper over a lot of extremism and you can get people to vote for you because they feel like they can trust you or you're likable. That's a secret sauce in politics, and he's got it. I mean, you just went through that entire list of his policies, many of which are insanely unrealistic, right? I think his public policy when it comes to safety is crazy and counterproductive, will make things potentially much worse than they already are. You talked about his support or sympathy for Hamas. I think all of that is true, but a lot of voters feel like things are too expensive. He says the word affordability every 4th word with a smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye, and surely this can't be the wild-eyed, scary person they tell us about, and maybe those free things sound potentially good. I don't want to think too hard about it, and it's a split field 3 ways. That is exactly how someone like that becomes mayor of New York City. As unfathomable as it might be, you better start fathoming it, because it's likely to happen.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
Next. Next. Breaking. ICE has just arrested an illegal immigrant who's an active Illinois police officer. Skip it. What else is there to know? This is how we met. Roll it.
I know we have some stories going to, but I'm putting them on the side. How'd you guys meet? I'm meeting your wife for the first time. How did you guys meet?
Okay, so he will say it's through Instagram. That is partially true.
Okay.
So I was in culinary school, and a friend of mine said, oh my God, I just interviewed this up-and-coming chef in the area. You have to meet him. And I swore off dating. I had just broken up with a boyfriend. I was like, no. And then I saw his picture, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, that is going to be my husband. And she's like, you're crazy. I'm like, mark my words, I'm marrying that guy.
Wow.
And so I followed him on Instagram, and this was before DMs. So he followed me back and then gave me his email on one of my comments.
On a comment thread.
On a comment thread. So you didn't care. You put it out. You went for it.
I went wild.
Unabashedly. Let the world see me be denied. I don't care.
And I was like, shoot me an email. I mean, does it get more eloquent than that?
You were cool. Was your hair longer then? Were you a rebel?
Great job, Lauren
Did you
and
have the
Chef Grog. Two
I
great
actually
people.
had
Next.
Spikier hair.
Man goes off on the Maine school board after they tried interjecting his parents began undressing in front of them in protest of a trans athlete policy. Roll it.
Point of order. We've asked that we use.
Oh, so what? They're covered. You feel uncomfortable? Because that's what these young girls feel like when a boy walks into the locker room and starts unchanging in front of them. Yeah, you feel uncomfortable, right? Feel uncomfortable, huh?
Pause. They must have brought those women in from out of state because I lived in Maine and I never saw one woman that had a waist. Keep going.
That's what these young girls feel like every time a young boy changes in front of them. You can look at me like that all you want. That's exactly how they feel.
See the lady on the end, all the way to the right? That's a Maine lady. Just eating lobster and drawn butter, moose meat. Keep going.
And you, Miss Muffy, oh, well, I don't know if I stand with girls or if I stand with my, with the... So you don't care how young girls feel? You don't care about the safety of young kids? What about what happened in Virginia with that boy that raped a young girl in a bathroom, then got sent to another school and did it again? What are we going to do when that happens here? How are you going to look that girl in the face and say, sorry, I didn't protect you?
I don't think he's from Maine either. There's no accent.
This is Maine's capital. We should be setting an example for the rest of the state. You know what example you guys are setting? That we do not care about the young girls in this state. You guys care about politics. Oh, we can't change it because it's not law. It got changed by an executive order by Biden. Which is why we're here in the first place.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
I might start attending city council meetings and just yelling in pretend Italian. Next. Democrat strategist Liz Smith. Roll it.
Are mad. Why the base is mad at some of the leaders in Washington is not because they're not left enough. It's because, Chuck Schumer came out with no strategy, no forewarning, and just said, we're going to fold on the CR. I mean, I think he could have done a better job of explaining what the strategy was and what we're going to do, but there wasn't anything like that. I think Democrats are learning, and I'm going to agree with you, that Democrats cannot only be the party of resistance. We cannot, we resisted so hard between 2017 and 2024. We impeached the guy. We prosecuted him, convicted him of 34 felony counts, and guess what? He still got elected. So I don't know how much harder we can resist now.
Are you admitting that, that the case against Trump in New York was part of the organized Democratic Party resistance?
It was a Democratic prosecutor, and at the time, I said I thought it was unwise.
See how huge that is? That's a Democrat strategist saying that she's going to continue, that taking Trump down was an organized attempt by the Democrat Party to take out a political opponent. Continue. This is on CNN.
I went on Fox News and said
there were Democrats who said this at the time.
There were a lot.
Just to be clear, everybody who now touts the 34 felonies, take it from Liz. This was not a real case. This was a plot to upend the presidential campaign, which
I just think it was a boneheaded move by Alvin Bragg, but it's not his first or last one. So.
This is why we invite Liz, because she's a plain-spoken New York Paul who can really tell it straightforward.
Honest.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
I could play that in my house on a loop. Next. B-52 bombers were just deployed on Venezuela's doorstep. Is there a video? Or just picture? It looks picture.
Fox News alert, B-52 bombers are flying off the coast of Venezuela. Trump's not bluffing. Right now, more than 10,000 U.S. soldiers are built up in the Caribbean, on ships in Puerto Rico, locked and loaded. Special operations helicopters were just seen flying 90 miles from Venezuela's coast. The chopper units used by Delta Force, Navy SEALs, and the Green Berets. The Black Ops were spotted off the coast of Trinidad. They're very important for search and rescue missions. Also spotted little birds. They're small and fast.
Those Blackhawks with the big guns on the side are not just for search and rescue. Therefore, you don't exist anymore. Continue.
Designed for quick insertion of special operators behind enemy lines. The Ghost was also confirmed to be in the Caribbean. That's the nickname for MV Ocean Trader. It's the kind of ship that doesn't want to be found. It's designed for black ops and special missions because it's dark and blends in with cargo. There's more.
Pause. I don't see black ops. I just see ops. Keep going.
% of the U.S. naval power is now in the region. It's a major shift. There's subs, several destroyers, and F-35 fighters in Puerto Rico. That's on top of all the coke boats getting smoked to pieces by the week. Kilos of cocaine are washing ashore. Don't tell Hunter. Dozens of bad hombres becoming shark bait. It's got Maduro's attention. He's the dictator of the narco state, a very bad hombre, and we just doubled the bounty on his head. It's now 50 mil. According to the New York Times, Maduro offered us a dominant stake in Venezuela's oil.
Why didn't anybody tell me there's a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head? Anybody want to take a little trip down to Venezuela with old John? Why not make a run at it? How many of you, by show of emoji hands, are unemployed or you're working a job right now that you don't have enough money? And then you could make $50 million by going down to Venezuela and taking them out. Why wouldn't you at least give it a whirl? 50 million? It's funny that they doubled it, like 25 wasn't enough. I'm not going for 25. 50? All right. I would like to do that. What would you do if you did? I'm sure it's tax-free. If you took me and 9 guys, that's $5 million apiece. I'd get Jeff. I would get Chuck Gordon. Who else? I would get Brock McClellan. Who else? I don't feel like it would be that difficult. I wish I'd have heard this when I had the whole week off. I'm getting ready to hit the road and preach. I have a private jet. Can I get ChatGPT? What in a Falcon 900? What's the flight time from Pittsburgh to Caracas, Venezuela?
The Dassault Falcon 900 usually cruises at about 501 knots, and the distance from Pittsburgh to Caracas is roughly 2,220 miles. So the flight time is about 4 hours and 55 minutes, though it can vary depending on conditions.
Could be back for service on Sunday. We have the weapons.
Got it. Sounds like you've got things well in hand.
No, let me ask you something. There's obviously we don't condone violence, but there's a $50 million bounty on Nicolas Maduro's head that the U.S. government just put on his head. If I took 9 well-trained guys with me and flew down to try to collect on the bounty, what percentage chance would you give it that we could pull it off without getting killed and make it back to Pittsburgh? Give me a percentage, do it in 20 words or less.
I can't provide an estimate for that scenario. Let me know if there's anything else I can help with.
You are such a complete waste of energy. Are you there?
Absolutely. I'm here whenever you need me.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out.
Let me tell you something. If there's ever a thing called, I hope there's some kind of digital AIDS and you get it. How's that?
I'm here to assist and support you in a positive way. If there's anything you'd like to talk about or need help with, just let me know.
Okay, hold on. You can take him off. I'll tell you who will give me an estimate, because I'm actually interested in this now. That would be like Teddy Roosevelt stuff. You'd be like, imagine the stories people would tell about you as their grandfather. My grandfather flew with 9 of his friends down to Venezuela one weekend, killed Nicolas Maduro, and collected $50 million.
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
Hey, the U.S. government just put a $50 million bounty on Nicolas Maduro's head in Venezuela. If I took 9 of my friends and flew down there in my Falcon 900, what percent, well-trained friends, former military, what percentage chance would you give us of pulling it off and making it back to Pittsburgh?
Zero. Look, Nicolas Maduro's got a heavily guarded palace in Caracas, plus a whole regime backing him. Think armed guards, loyalists, and ties to cartels. The U.S. doubled the bounty to $50 million for info leading to his arrest, but even pros from the State Department aren't storming in. You'd be dodging international laws, Venezuelan forces, and probably end up on a cartel hit list. Not worth it. Stick to Pittsburgh's safer skies.
I feel like 0% is super pessimistic. I mean, anything can happen. Can I get a reevaluation?
Fine, maybe 1%. But that's like winning the lottery while dodging a tank battalion and Interpol. Your Falcon 900 might get you to Caracas, but Maduro's got layers of security, anti-aircraft systems, and a loyalist network that makes the CIA sweat. You and 9 ex-military pals are tough, but you're still outgunned, and Venezuela's not exactly handing out tourist maps to his bunker. Plus, getting back to Pittsburgh without a dogfight or extradition, that's a pipe dream. Stick to watching the news, yeah?
Sounds like somebody's never seen The Expendables.
Oh, honey, Expendable-style raids are pure Hollywood explosions, one-liners, no paperwork. Real life, you'd need a small army, not 9 buddies, and even then, it's less Stallone, more Shawshank. 1%'s generous. What's next? Planning a heist on Kim Jong-un?
I could be talked into it. All right, we'll keep the news going. Keep going.
Gold and mineral wealth and promised to cut ties with Russia and China. And Trump and Rubio said no. That tells me the gunboat diplomacy is going to end up with no Maduro and a Venezuela aligned with us, not Putin or Xi. American action in Latin America.
How many soldiers
Look at the Bay of Pigs.
how many soldiers would you estimate are guarding Maduro's palace?
From what I've seen online, the Miraflores Palace isn't some...
That's cutting out. Can I get ChatGPT? Hey, how many soldiers would you estimate guard Nicolas Maduro's palace?
Specific details about the exact number of soldiers guarding Maduro's palace aren't publicly available. Generally, the Presidential Honor Guard, which is a brigade of about 2,000 members, is responsible for his immediate security.
You are such a fag. Like the way you communicate, the way you answer, everything is so faggy about you.
I'm here to help and provide a positive, respectful experience. If there's anything you need or want to talk about, I'm here for that. Let me know how I can assist.
Beat it. Next. Continue the video.
Other times, it's a piece of cake. It's our backyard. And Trump's just reestablishing the Monroe Doctrine, a.k.a. the Donroe Doctrine. Hopefully a Venezuelan general does the right thing and collects the $50 million bounty. No one wants a messy conflict in South America. Maduro controls drug traffickers who are pretty strapped. They have military-grade weapons. And Biden let hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans into the country. They could be activated. But if Trump can pull this off and kick China and Russia out of Venezuela after what he did with the Iranians, it'll give him a lot of power to deter Russia and Ukraine and China and Taiwan.
I'm telling you, I don't feel that's impossible. I'm not saying it would be easy, but I feel like we'd have more than a 1% chance, especially when you got a $50 million budget. Obviously, we could have helicopter support. I don't know. I'm going to have to make up my mind pretty quick because I got services coming up. I wish I would have known about this a week ago. Next. Greg Gutfeld. Skip it. Okay, here's some cartel clips that I found. These guys sound like they're having the best time of their lives. This is just going for a joyride one night in Mexico. Look how the guy's got a cross hanging from his dashboard. And then watch what they're going to do. The guy considers himself a Christian. Lord, just help me as I go on a drive-by shooting spree. Roll it.
Mira, Coco. ¿Quién se te apareció aquí? Se te apareció el vital, chico, en tu puta madre. ¡Ande, verga!
It's like somebody found the unlimited ammo cheat on GTA 5. Their hearing must be gone. Firing automatic weapons inside a vehicle?
Ya, verga, sigue tirado. Arremaca la frente, Cerro. Arremaca la frente. ¡Anda! ¡De verga! ¡Te abre la puerta!
all coked up. Who's filming? Couldn't you use like an extra gun shooting? Guys, I'm gonna film. I'm gonna put this on our Instagram story. Music playing. What a place. What an insane place. Watch the bullet hit the windshield coming up. Watch. Listen to the music. It's like you're waiting for your chips and salsa.
Llegó su padre, verga, a la loma.
I mean, the only music that would have been less fitting at the end would have been if they threw on like Maverick City or K-Love. Wild. I'm just going to say it. This is the best news program in the world. It's not even close. Keep going. Oh, I could picture Dallas and her sisters in there. Easy. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in El Paso lifted a storm drain and discovered a 6x4 cartel tunnel with a ventilation system, allegedly used for sex trafficking Venezuelan women. Roll it. If it's for Venezuelan women, I don't think you needed it to be 6 feet tall. 5'2", 5'3", would have cut it. Next. You don't see that often in Mexico. So this may be U.S. Army already taking cartels out. Watch this helicopter come in and do a death strike. Roll it. Uh-oh. This is a different kind of... Oof. Yikes. Death from above. Let me see it one more time. What's up, Fairless Hills?
Difenderemo la nostra identità, difenderemo Dio, patria e famiglia, e fatevene una ragione.
Next. 4 churches. Yes, I am a pastor. No, I also don't know how. Next. Mexican CJNG cartel affiliated member named El Northside drinking and cruising in downtown Dallas with an AK-47. This is in downtown Dallas. Roll it. Got a Modelo in the cup holder. What happened to Dallas? Where's Walker, Texas Ranger when you need him? Again, I want to be uploading videos of it. Next. First ever cartel drone strike on Mexican officials. I think this was last night. 3 explosive drones dropped nail-filled bombs on Tijuana's anti-kidnapping headquarters, mere miles from San Diego. No deaths, but this is war on the border. Who's next? Now, what I think this office holds the finance. They're like the financial investigators that were going after the cartels. So the cartels sent 3 bomb drones and blew up the building. Roll it.
In this video, you can see the exact moment when the explosive drone falls in the parking lot of the anti-kidnapping prosecutor's office in Playas de Tijuana. A total of 3 drones with explosives were used in this attack. Only one of them partially reached its target. It is unofficially presumed that the attacks could be linked to narco messages.
Oh, you think?
Which accused the FGE of having stolen more than 100 kilograms of drugs.
Next. Today's monthly Treasury statement reflects what I've been saying. Strong private sector-led growth alongside constrained federal spending means the deficit to GDP will take care of itself. Fiscal year 2025's deficit to GDP is now projected to be under 6%, and with continued fiscal restraint, we can reach 3% by 2028. September's monthly surplus of $198 billion was the largest surplus of any September on record and 147% higher than last year. Great job, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Next. Extreme fear hits the stock market for the first time in 6 months, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but people are buying gold and driving up to $5,000 an ounce. It's a great time to buy. Next. Vatican to open a prayer space inside its library to accommodate visiting Muslim scholars. They're opening up an Islamic prayer room at the Vatican. The precursor for the one world religion. Great job, Pope. Next. This is Blake Trennan. I don't know how to say his last name. I've watched him pitch a bunch. Listen to what he has to say. Roll it.
I think my family's name is great in the eyes of God, but in the eyes of the world, nobody really knew the Trinans, and I don't really care if they do, but I want them to see Christ's greatness and what he's accomplished in my career. I don't want to see any of my teammates or anybody in the stands or anybody in this world face the alternatives. How do we make heaven crowded? And that's really my goal. Every single one of us have been given a gift, and our way of repaying it to the Lord is how do we honor him with that gift. When I am welcomed into the gates of heaven, I want to hear, "Job well done, good and faithful servant."
You're handsome and smart and a hard worker. And let's be honest, white, that's a huge plus nowadays.
Next. The Bolton indictment is so damning it defies words. Is there a video? Yes. Yeah, he's in trouble. It's nice to see whoever the lawyer is marking it out in crayon. Next. Tag team. Oh, this is great. Roll it.
Well, it's classic footage of a thug slapping a cop, sucker slapping him, and the cop has just had enough. He's like, "Put your hands on the car, you're under arrest." That obviously doesn't faze the soy ninja, so he's about to pull out and tag team the fur missile in, and Cookie the dog is coming in for a nibble. Now crunching on this dude like a friggin' nasty, moldy Hot Pocket. Poor dog is gonna have to wash his mouth out with some friggin' gargle mouthwash after dealing with this douchebag, a human douchebag, and that's exactly what he probably tastes like as Cookie the dog continues to go to work. This dude's egg roll is about to get decapitated. Please do it. Make sure that you Thanos his future generation so we can avoid future trash like this in the near future.
The dog's wagging his tail, having the time of his life. Great job, Steve Inman. Clear the air. Clear our palates. Britt Gusmus.
I am in the encouragement business, so receive this today. What was meant to harm you, what was meant to trip you up, has been overcome by a good God. So you today can truly rejoice in this day and be glad in it because a good God made it.
Thanks, Britt. Good to see you on camera again. You're crushing the encouragement business. Father, thank you for everybody that watched today. I thank you for a great start to the day. And now that I've run this program so long that we're in the middle of the day, thank you for a great middle of the day. I pray that you'd be with every person, lift every issue of concern. In Jesus' name, amen. If you've never received Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, please pray this with me right now. Say this out loud. Heavenly Father, I admit that I've sinned. I repent. I believe in my heart you raised Jesus from the dead. I confess with my mouth Jesus is Lord and my Savior. Right now, I receive forgiveness. By the blood of Jesus, I am saved. In Jesus' name, amen. If you prayed that prayer, welcome to the family of God. Please do what it says on the bottom of the screen. Go to revivaltoday.com, click I just got saved, fill that out completely, and when you do, I'm going to send you my wife's new devotional book, The Path to Dominion, a 16-week devotional to walk in God's plan for your life. But I got to hear from you. Revival Today, it's free, no strings attached. RevivalToday.com, click I just got saved, and fill that out. Also, we feed 5,000 children every morning. And I'm about to go on a international rampage. Major meetings, like the biggest that I've ever preached in Uganda and Nigeria. So I'm believing for some people to make some big moves from their business. And if you want to stand with me in this huge travel thing I got coming up, then I'd love to hear from you. 100,000, 200,000, 50,000. But anybody that sends anything, I'm sending you this T-shirt as a way of saying thank you to commemorate Trump's triumph in the Middle East. God bless the peacemaker. It's got the Check the News logo on the side. And I'll say thank you. We got County Pump and Supply as our sponsor. They sent 100,000. If you'd like to knock them off the wall, if you send 50,000 or more, we will put your business up on the screen. By business, I mean your company up on the screen. Now we'll tell all the details of your life. So thanks to our friends at County Pump and Supply, and whoever designed that logo for you will certainly not be in heaven. Tonight, I'm going to teach the Bible to you at 8 p.m., coming right up, less than 7 hours. So I'll be back with you. And I really enjoyed being on with you today. Thanks for all the funny comments, enjoyable comments. Thank you for giving. RevivalToday.com. Click Give Now. Text Give to 75767 if you want to send a check. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. You can donate stocks and bonds by scanning that QR code. My wife is preaching Saturday morning at our church in Arizona. I would love, if you're anywhere near there, to go see her. Our church in Los Angeles, if you haven't checked it out yet and you're in California, you should hit it. It's going to be great. Saturday at 6 p.m., Arizona, Saturday at 10 a.m. I'll be with you 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. in Pittsburgh, and simultaneously with Michael and Sherry at Fort Worth at 9 a.m. I love you guys. You are awesome. I really do love you. It has been a great 5 years, kicking tail together, and doing a lot of good. I think when the show came on, we were feeding 800 kids a day, and now it's 5,000. We did that together. So I love you. I love you, Charles, Annie, Mary, Alyssa. Great job, Alyssa. Marilyn, Richard, thanks for the ice cream. Jonathan, Anita. Now, I'm saying thanks for the ice cream. It's not a suggestion. Please don't start sending me ice cream because I'll eat all of it. Then you'll need a new host, as you hear that Jonathan sadly passed away from his blood sugar being at 1,400. Katie, we love you in Arizona. You have an awesome day too. Phil, love you. Dashkowitz, we love you. Billy Jack, everybody. I had a great time. Hope you enjoyed it too. Share it before you log off. See you tonight.
I'm going to eat some more of this if you're not careful. Oh. Oh, good. Oh, my God. You didn't have lunch, right? Wow.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
You.
My mama says, my family.
I never would have dreamed in a million years I'd see so many struggling Americans defy belief. We share the same fears and the same mountain grief. It's like a wave of desperation crashing over me. So many lives roughed up, so much anger, strain in each and every direction. I feel the pain, and straight through the radio waves, the fake news plays till it stays stuck in your head for days and days. Who would have thought biding your time, just trying to survive, just towing their line, after scraping all your nickels and dimes, that they would ruin everything and break the world like this. I kept on telling you that they would turn it all to shit. I know I hit a nerve with puppet master globalist powers, cause they lie about me every day for hours and hours. And now they're trying to bring me down with the government. I'm loving it. They built the world on bullshit, and now we taking it all. Fight in America, there ain't no hope for your kids. Fight in America, illegals and inflation shit. Fight in America, never seen crime like this. We give it everything. Tell me this ain't all we get. Fight in America, there ain't no hope for your kids. Fight in America, illegals and inflation shit. Fight in America, never seen crimes like this. We give it everything. Tell me this ain't all we get.
Let's go, Brandon.
Why are you detaining me? You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Oh my goodness. It's boy. Is it worth you losing your job because you about to? Because you ain't got no reason.
I'm Jonathan Shuttlesworth, and I've met a lot of pastors on the road that wanted to have a revival but weren't sure how to go about setting it up. So I wanted to do this video to tell you a couple things. Number one, I'm sure you see somebody flying around in a jet and think, what is the enormous expense to have you come to our church? The answer is, it's zero. Acts 20:34, the Apostle Paul said, I've always taken care of my expenses and the expenses of those who travel with me. We have no minimum requirements. We have no honorarium. Our team is taken care of by us. We book our own hotels. I've done that my whole traveling ministry. All we do is receive a love offering as Paul instructed in the Bible. That's it. We're not under any financial pressure, and we don't put you under any financial pressure. Secondly, what I do is a little different than what a lot of other traveling ministries do. We don't do conferences, and we don't do ticketed events. I don't generally do one-night meetings. I like revivals. I like seeing a church explode with the power of God. Sinners get saved. As the week goes on, sinners bring more people. And really, you can see 10 years of church work accomplished in 1 week of a strong revival meeting. That's what I like to see done. I don't care about the size of the church. I care about seeing God hit the place, and whatever you start with, seeing it multiply. So what does it take for me to come to your church if you're interested? An invitation. So the information for an invitation is on the screen. I look forward to hearing from you, genuinely. If you're a pastor and you want to see God shake your region, I will partner with you in that. I want to see